connectors, yeah.
That's where I was going with it.
There we go. That's a 2-2. It's interesting round from Vitality. They pulled that lurk off from Apex, and it's such a quick lurk. I mean, he walks up connector and pretty much doesn't stop the entire round. So getting his one kill and getting traded out is good. But it was really about how quickly RPK was able to trade his next frag in window with able to hit his shot. I think that was the most impressive thing. That connector and the cat player could not see. And trying to figure out where his next fight's going to be. No time to line stuff up. Hits an incredible 1D and then deals with Hunter as well at the end of the day. Ice in his veins, man. Nasty
That's what he's
stuff.
there for. That's what the man is there for. All right. Everybody calm down. We've got Valiance back in on a buy. Light utility, 0 kits. And no op to try and stop ZywOo.
Another buy up. Just don't want to make sure a lurk comes out of connector. This time window will get boosted into, and Otto just watches the smoke because he's got nothing better to do. There wasn't really much assistance for him, and MBK is here to lurk Palace one more time. Otto goes ahead and picks another one up at mid, and RPK looks for a trade. Is clear, seems to be aware that Nexa could be there, but it doesn't quite matter. And now it's just on Alex. We'll go back to try to recover the bomb, but there will be a man waiting for him to try this.
Yeah, and he walks unsuspectingly straight into the crosshair. Damn, Valiance, they do not shy away from going for these hyper-aggressive flanks.
Yeah, the hyper-aggressive flanks. And also, there's a lot of mid-presence from Vitality, and a lot of kind of like the similar stuff. They have this pattern of doing what works. And they don't do that kind of as a team. They do it on like this in this default, where they're taking a lot of liberties with the lurks and Palace, for example, or how Apex is going up connector, going in window, going at a very fast pace. Again, using minimal grenades. They're pretty much just trying to catch people off guard. That seems to be like the overall ethos of their strategy.
Ethos, I like that word. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And I like the application of it too, right?
It's like they're kind of their team philosophy. Just play loose, play defaulty, work individual picks, try to catch people off guard. But once those things are known, you know, once you have Otto watching a smoke in window, once you have Nexa who's aware that Apex might come up connector, once you have a player who can keep his eyes on Palace for the majority of the early round, what are the other options? Now that all those things have been spotted, what are Vitality going to do differently? There are tons of individual options on Mirage. There's lots. But which ones will they employ? Here we are at top boxes at a minute 25. Smoke to the top of connector. And MBK is making his way back into Palace after leaving for a moment. I don't know if it was to throw a smoke or just to come back and watch a ramp push. But Nexa has prying eyes on this. They've taken mid-control. They left a player here. That's kind of what you want to do. And they can go back into an execute if they want to, but they've only got a single smoke.
Good thing Apex took a chip on the chin and grabs himself the full utility.
Assuming they're just smoking jungle, so connector will be open to come up through. And it looks like apartment smoke was missed.
Alex just gets a jumping ump headshot if my wall hacks are fine, and followed up with 2 additional kills. 2 additional kills, so the entries all go smooth, but then they walk into Nexa, who... Letney's still up. He's going to pry over the top of staircase. Can't quite catch NBK yet. He's crouching behind the metal cover, keeping his head down and his hopes high. When does Letney decide to round the corner? Where does he look? Where does he anticipate Apex to be off to? It's not even going to matter, because NBK comes popping up at the perfect time.
Yeah, don't even know how all those kills fell into place, but the split was good enough. They had the jumping UMP kill at mid. They had a player up in Palace, I think, who got a frag. Zaiwu chimed in with his AWP, and it made it look easy. It was a 2v5 there for a second. Nexa put up big numbers. Info that they didn't respect it because you're not there to look.
Hunter tucked away. Should definitely hear this pressure coming. He actually, almost makes work of that CZ, but RPK will best him. Had the corner to hide in, but just can't connect the shot. Substantial damage still done, and Letney may try to finish off this frag. It would be nice to regain the map control. It would open up the information on window if need be. Otto, speaking of info, just wants to know whether players are coming at him from the apps. Good time grenade, but it just sails past NBK. Nearly on the head. Otto now, seeing as he's dropped, puts the pressure onto Letney, tries to activate and cut off that cap push, but falls after just one. So efficient trade frags coming in from Vitality, efficient peaks and timing too. It all seems in the bag as they plant bomb on top of it all.
Actually here on the rotate. Looks like he's going to find a spot to camp in on Cat. They're going to try to guess to see where can we stop them from leaving. Would probably take that map, but with Mirage, Valiance just had such a strong performance on Mirage. They're probably feeling pretty good. I feel like they'll definitely be able to give Vitality a run for their money. Maybe favored, maybe not. And if it did go down to Dust 2, again, not so sure. Like Vitality are all that on Dust 2, so could be a long series, but who knows? Vitality take this map, it could just be a 2-0. Small lead right now. Going up against Pistols right here.
I feel like Apex has consistently been given the ability to run up into ramp. Uses connector to his advantage. Gets himself closer to that A site. Allows for him to have audio cues from both window, and sandwich, and stairs. Kind of pushes Valiance forward in a way that they can't be exposed to him. But mind you, with these Pistols, they want to get as close as possible regardless. Letney playing around the corner of the site. He's got 3 players pushing up from Catwalk, the distraction in apps as well, as Alex activates, falls down, and picks him up. Esperanto's Deagle hungry for some frags. He's got the substantial damage, can't manage that 3rd bullet though. So it's Nexa standing at the end of the day as bomb plants at 25 seconds.
Yeah, not even any damage done this round. So they've just a couple players who are quite low, but 5 alive for Vitality means they will be at full strength. Lots of money to be made. Moving into this next round, but it'll also be a buy from Valiance. They've done well so far, I think, on some of their rounds. On CT side, they've had good adaptations, rotations, individual performances from both Nexa and Esperanto on the A site. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the adjustment will be now. Vitality, again, don't look to execute on sites all the time. That's just not their style, it doesn't seem. Which I'm totally fine with. I feel like there's a really good argument to be made against wasting a ton of utility for the thought of like flashing one guy out, and when you could use almost no utility, flash that same guy, maybe even catch someone off guard for free. Just be surprising. I feel like there's a lot of value in that, especially when there's so many things that you go through as a player as you're learning to figure out how to deal with executes that you can telegraph.
Do you feel like there's a problem currently unfolding here with this cat to B presence that seems to be Throne versus Hunter? I know he hasn't had anything other than pistols to protect themselves, but it does seem like we've seen that shift away from A, away from Esperanto, and closer to this B site now. Yeah,
it might be because, well, it depends if Vitality were doing that specifically because they were anti-eco. Maybe their anti-eco is to go cat to B, which is somewhat common for teams. I personally don't like it just because you're exposed to so many angles, but it's worked well for them. And now we'll see if that's something that they want to try again, but I have no idea. They might have specifically just been targeting cat, not even expecting anybody to be inside of ladder room, just saying, okay, if it is going to be an anti-eco, we like to go B, we like to abuse cat, and we like to molly out ladder room. We're happy to take that engagement. This time around, back on a very passive default. Player back at top mid. CTs are constantly getting information, which is good. Oh, Nexa even winning his duel straight up versus MBK with just a UMP. Definitely not favored in that situation.
Grabs the AK and tucks back just in the nick of time because Apex hot on his heels. Could actually still find him with his back turned. Yes, sir. Nexa not ready for that one. And we're right into the even ground of 4v4. Hunter poised and prepared to push top mid with Otto over the shoulder to support him. But does somebody flash him deep? No, he dry peeks, and still he manages the headshot. Then RPK, as he attempts to trade, is drawn into Otto. So that's a decent affair here. And unfortunately for Alex, he's just blindsided from LUCKEY. It's Apex versus 3. Trade frags towards middle, a proactive ramp push out of Valiance, and then a solid B hold 2. That's the pieces of the equation that succeed for them.
Yeah, they really made it work on all facets of the map. They had that was a nice trade from Apex, so I really like that. It seemed like he called out that Nexa, given as much time as he had, went and he heard him pick up the AK, that, okay, maybe he cleared the A ramp, and since I'm this late, I could probably just kind of flagrantly walk up and catch him trying to look for something else. He knows also that MBK had been constantly fighting from Palace, and that might be Nexa's next target. Took a small risk there, but it seemed pretty cerebral to me, so that was cool to watch. But overall, again, Valiance are doing quite well versus a straight-up default that we've seen from Vitality now. Their lurks are not working as well as they'd like, I think, and I think we have a small pause here, potentially a technical pause as headphones are off.
Nathan Schmidt, or NBK, not happy with his hardware. So yeah, we're in the middle of a tech pause, folks. That's okay. Look at it, well sorted. We have 2 referees on scene. Not 1, but 2.
2. Yes, technical pause.
Confirmed, 100%. HLTV confirmed.
Check out HLTV. Could be hopefully it's a VoIP issue.
Those are always the easiest ones, right?
Yeah, those are the tier 3 issues. Tier 1 issues, we're looking at hardware. TeamSpeak restarting, perfect.
Nice,
that's what we like to see.
Yep.
Hell yeah, we root for those issues.
I want to play a game here with Valiance.
Go for it.
Spot the Scandinavian.
I just laughed before even answering. So, he's also got a flag on his shirt.
Yeah, I just realized that.
So,
you know,
this is an easy game.
Yeah, I don't want to challenge you, Launders. I'm not trying to make your life any harder.
You questioning my intelligence?
No. You already have to work with me. I figure that's hard enough.
We have no idea what the team atmosphere is like. Who's friends with whom?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just pretty unaware when it comes to Valiance in general. Like me personally, I remember when they were a full fledged Serbian roster, I believe. You know, they went under the name of Binary Dragons, and we cast them at DreamHack Open Atlanta 2017. Our second LAN together, you and I. No, our first LAN together. They were Binary Dragons. And then they rebranded, and they played at Copenhagen Games, had a disappointing event, and then I didn't really get to watch them at all for a little while. You know, I believe
they lost to Singularity, was that right? There was a Finnish team that won that LAN. That,
well, no, Imperial won that LAN. So Esperanto and Nexa's original mixed team is the one that won it.
Interesting.
Right.
Worlds collide.
They were playing with Asilian at the time as an in-game leader. That kind of, you know, pushed him into his next team of Heroic. Because of that result, it left them behind. They grabbed Crystal. You know, so they've been floating around this core. But now they have Esperanto and Nexa. You know, you get that. They put more Serbs on the team, and here you go. Let's take a look at the scoreboard for the time being. Who's up there at the top of things? We've got Hunter and Esperanto above 90 damage per round at the moment. And on the other side of the scoreboard, it's Zywoo, no surprise at the top. 79.1 ADR. 8 kills, 6 deaths, 1 assist, $6,900 in the bank.
Okay.
Oh, even more stats. Here you can see, of course, that reset that very vitally occurred in that 6th round. And because of that, you know, we've had these string of victories, 3 rounds in a row from Vitality each time. There's a very real, you know, timeline where this happens yet again. If the 11th goes to Vitality, then I feel for Valiance.
Yeah, it's like they're resetting at the perfect moments.
Right. You know, it's because, sure, the whole thing is just don't get reset in these crucial turning points, but when that does happen, you're just so limited in terms of gun rounds. It's like you never really get a chance to play the game. You just get beaten up and bullied, you know,
Sounds
one hand tied behind your back.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks.
I thought this was supposed to be fun.
Who said Counter-Strike was fun?
That's true. It's not. It hasn't been fun for a long time. It's well, no, okay. It's very
really fun.
I think it's what I meant to say. It's just it's less fun when you're playing purely to win.
Right.
Which you should always be playing to win, unless you're just trying to have fun. Where are we going with this?
You should always be playing to win.
Trying to have fun. Where are we going with this?
You should always be playing to win if it's your job.
If it's your job, yes.
Right.
And it's not fun to lose when it's your job to win.
That just means you're not that good at your job.
And being bad at your job isn't fun.
Right. Don't you feel the pain right now? Jokes aside, the issue has gone from Tier 3 to Tier 1.
Yeah,
because
you just said PC, so...
Yeah, PC issues. So let's just chuck it out the window.
The PC?
Yep.
Okay.
Or NBK, it's your choice.
Or NBK. One's easier to replace.
Which one?
The PC.
Oh.
Can't just get a new NBK.
I mean, they replaced Happy pretty quick.
That's true. That did take a while, though.
That's fair.
So all we know is that it's PC. So all we know is that it's PC.
Yeah, we'll give it to you, folks. So don't go too far, because the break may be short, it may be long, you never know. You're going to have to stick around for updates. You're not going to want to miss this. Vitality versus Valiance. Who's going to win? Only time will tell. So we shall see you soon. So, you thought you were coming back to the game, but we're throwing you guys a curveball. Still not ready.
It's another tech.
It's another technical pause. So,
oh, it's ready.
It is ready. Oh,
gotcha.
We're being thrown all sorts of
I know you guys are upset.
Longers.
We were just kidding around.
Just standing on my chair here. You know what sucks about standing on camera? Is that now people know you're taller than me.
Yeah. A lot of people were surprised that I was tall in general.
Yeah, you look like a...
You never get to see people's legs when they're streaming and stuff, so.
True. True. At least it's not a Tom Biss, Jason Kaplan type situation.
Yeah. At least you're not bald.
Woo! Let's go. Vitality up 6-4. Valiance on a bye. This is not a place they've been too often. This is the reset that kind of reset them in the middle of this half. So let's see if the guillotine falls once more. You know, economy's half the game in Counter-Strike. Headshot's the other half.
Headshots and economy.
That's all it is. Simple as that.
The school of Scrawn. Diploma.
Set utility in mid going each way. Initial setup from Valiance was actually 3 players strong behind the boxes, used 2 smokes to cover it. Not this time, not off of the pause. But we're already 40 seconds left in this round. Nexa activates from the bottom of Palace, 2 kills plus a headshot. Substantial damage coming off of him. And now Apex trying to swing out from the A site. He needs to worry about the CT spawn peak. There's 2 players coming in from this position, and now nobody knows. Just ZywOo and NBK, both of which barely hanging on to life. And unfortunately for Vitality, they've lost the bomb site in its entirety.
This is very back and forth. And it's such bare bones, yes, but the fragging is so good. Like, everybody's super sharp. Nexa just went ham from under balcony. The same spot that he was in the previous, 2 rounds in a row, and just...
knocking him down. How about an anti-eco ace?
Damn. And there's a few people that head armor, to be honest. So
right, not that much of an eco, but still Pistolero's trying to fight at a distance, falling straight into his 7.62. Come on, Esperanto, do it.
You know he wants it.
See, this is where I started to see him develop as a player, because there were times where he would just be, shooting teammates in his attempt to get this final frag. And Nexa and Hunter have died in his way. Otto grabs the kill.
Yeah, he's upsetty spaghetti about that one. But it was a fantastic round nonetheless. A couple of good kills at the end there. Who was that? Who's last alive?
4? Vitality?
Wait, yeah. Oh, no, sorry, for Vitality, yeah.
That Mr. Mohan.
Who got the last 2 kills?
Listen, the game log is a round behind, I'll let you know.
Okay, Apex.
Yep, it was indeed. I told you I'd let you know.
Thank you.
Not the other way around. Watch Hunter gobble up some easy prey. Vitality, they just charge out mid. They want a couple Deeg duels. And they're met by M4s instead. Unfortunately for them, already turned back. However, with Nexa and Letty dead, I mean, this is cost effective. Take what you can get. But Esperanto, he's going to take it all. Bomb included at his feet. Alex has to go, and he is sent packing.
Yep, he tries to make his way back, but there's not a lot of hope. A couple of rounds left now, and Vitality are going to call another tac pause, and I think it's warranted. There's probably stuff that they can talk about here. What's going to be the approach to the round? We know that Valiance have played very mid-centric. They've done well stopping lurks. A lot of the simpler executes out a ramp are no longer effective. I would deem those useless until they either tried to sell a fake around it or throw a couple more flashes and smokes and work more towards a full execute, because it feels like, just throwing one Molotov at under balcony is not enough to help them win the round. They've kind of got to have more than that. I mean, Nexa wasn't blind when he came out of under balcony. He didn't have to dodge any flashes. He didn't have a threat coming up connector, which was the thing that killed him for free on a previous round. So focusing more on the splits potentially, or just full executes that involve a little bit more utility to neutralize players like Nextra. But they are making some adaptations, trying to isolate Esperanto by calling him out with set Molotovs. And oh, wow, that is a nice shot from Otto.
Yeah, Otto with the hot hop straight out window onto the catwalk. Goes up, above, and beyond. Falls off. Letney grabbing another sniper frag. Puts this into the favor of Valiance. 4v3, dodging flashbangs. Otto nabs another. RPK attempting to give chase. Turned back the other way, and ZywOo clears his corners sufficiently.
That was nice. Strong position, though, for the CTs. We got Nexa push through A ramp. He can come back through Palace. He can go back through A ramp. Going to mid would probably be redundant at this point.
Should still transition into the plant at the very least. So I feel like ZywOo, you know, kind of dodges a couple shots there, threw up the connector. Could have been far worse. Nexa does opt to double back through Palace. NBK aware already.
Yeah, they should try to draw some attention for him, actually, by making noise. And oh my god, I think Nexus saw him cross.
Yeah, definitely ready for the peak. Now ZywOo back behind the firebox, 1v3. This would be for the ace if he grabs all 5 kills, or, seeing as the bomb is already halfway gone, could just hold this off long enough. He hasn't revealed himself. The Molotov at his feet. He does peek wide, damages the diffuser, but Nexa takes priority, and Nexa wins the duel.
Yeah, too many nades left over to make that possible for him from such a common spot. But, you know, if there was a guy who could do it, obviously, it would be the ZywOo, the ZywOo, the Uwoo, the Uwoo. 6 rounds vitality. And Valiance looked very strong. Otto is also showing up, just as you talked about earlier. A guy who's probably going to have a hard time shining with so many stars on the team.
Yeah.
But those op shots looked extremely focused.
Very crisp.
Yeah, crisp. They were kind of obtuse to angles that he had to flick from. And although they weren't just like straight up hard flicks, they were very smooth shots.
Ooh, but this time he's blinded. And he doesn't regain vision fast enough to deny the mid push. 3 players come charging forward for him. Taken note, of course, this is the 15th and final round of the first half. Bomb's been drawn back because Alex goes in. Esperanto clears Apex from middle, though. That's the anchor. And that allows for him to now try and cut off this bomb.
Oh, are they going to clear this?
They should.
Yeah, oh, nice shot.
The tank just plows straight through him. Hunter then pinched from both directions because Alex McMeekin had already pushed all the way to the back of Marketplace.
Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
McMeekin?
McMeekin.
McMeekin. Okay.
MC, M-E-E-K.
MC Meekin.
MC Meekin, and Nexa looks to dance. Inside of the Marketplace, he deals the damage, needs to get the kill off and will, but on the attempted exit, it's where Vitality wins the round. 8-7, as close as possibly could be, but one hell of a run there from Valiance at the end of things. 5 of the last 6 rounds go their way. How does the second half start? Well, we'll find out after the break. Economic resets paved the way for Vitality to start off strong, but the road got bumpy towards the end of the half, and Valiance bounced right back. 8-7, and as close as can be to begin the last 15.
Definitely a tight half that we saw, and it was a good pullback from Valiance. I keep saying I keep thinking Valiance.
I used to call them Valiance.
Valiance, all right, that's a new one. That makes me feel a bit better for sure. But here it is, RPK sees a few players here, but there's also 3 CTs in B. Great nade, look at all the red. And Apex, just 1 for 1. Alex here.
Yep, pops out.
It's ball C and boom.
Comes
Bingo.
in from the cubby hole.
Bango, bongo.
Auto up, 1 versus 3. A pistol clutch attempt is always fun. Just take some headshots, and, well, there's one for you, folks. Apex, 3 frags on the pistol, and Vitality start on the front foot.
Where the series gets ugly is if they lose this map. That's when I think Vitality is at full strength, full confidence. They move into Inferno. Another notch on the belt to take a team like Valiance down probably on Inferno. I think they'll be happy to go to this next map with a win on their shoulders. So, Valiance, can they pull this out? They need 8 rounds to do it. They've lost this second pistol. Could be a critical one. They aren't going to force here. They are just going to have an upgraded Deagle for Esperanto. MBK going to be playing under Balk with the MP9. Kind of alone at the moment, but no one's here to threaten him from Palace. So, what can he do? Good amount of damage dealt already. And again, no one's here to threaten him from Palace. He's going to pull out the sidearm, but it doesn't matter. He's done a lot of damage. Oh. Only player to go down to that round, and he made 1,800 bucks.
Racking up that cash. With the SMG, the fire hose. You could see, right, like you alluded to, waiting for that Palace peak that was never a part of the equation. Just ramp, and more ramp. All slammed right back down. Proactive play from Zywoo, very aggressive, just throws himself from the staircase, wants to put himself in the mix. And does so efficiently. So 1 round the difference, Vitality up on the CT side, but the buy has arrived for Valiance.
Immediately posturing up for what looks like it could be an A hit, but like Vitality, don't seem to be keen on throwing too many smokes. They're going for the walk up early on. There's a jump spot from CT, but that patrol has been passed. MBK just got his gun out now. Sandwich control gets taken. No Molotov coming his way, however. There's only Nexa who has it, and they don't have a way to stop him. The smokes are really like late at this point.
Yeah, non-existent really. Now one goes off on connector, a gap for Zywoo to try to play with. Auto's just so exposed. That is a flub smoke if I've ever seen it. However, Esperanto could still save the day. Zywoo seems aware of the potential, but Esperanto right through it. Luckily, Alex is here to go 1 for 1. Nexa starts to pick up pieces and brings this even kill. 45 seconds left as Hunter prioritizes plant, and I don't blame him. He wants to get it down, and he has got it in. However, now he's pinched. It's Alex and RPK to clear him first, pushing this onto Nexa with a quarter of his health bar left over and a quarter of the bomb already gone. He needs to try to hold them off. There is a kit on RPK. It's a fake tap. He's come off. They're going to try to take this duel, but now time is even further ticked, Launders. And Nexa still holding off, patiently waiting for his chance to strike. A flash goes wide. The headshot's there, and so is the spray down. Nexa in the after plant with a crucial round for his team.
That's nasty. That is so nasty. Really nice spray. 1 HP at the end of the round. And the Molotov going a little bit too deep. It's just punishing enough that he can come out with just a miraculous and fantastic recoil control. That was really cool. This is not a round that they were supposed to win, as we can see. And I think he might have gotten like dinked through the wall potentially.
To 20, from 25 to 1. But now it's Esperanto's turn. He goes and takes a tear through mid, spray down into Apex. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You let this man get loose, and him and Nexa will chew you apart, spit you out, and leave you stranded in the middle of the A site for Letney to pick you up. That's a 10th one for Valiance if I've ever seen it.
Definitely an easy one. Yeah, MBK now.
Just shredded, Mohan.
Yeah. I mean, and not like a 6-pack washboard abs type. Shredded. No. Shredded 2 pieces. Like ground beef. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like an overdue bill. But that wasn't very funny, so I didn't say it.
Because like if you shredded it,
then you'd have a real problem. You'd have two problems.
Yeah, then you just have more problems.
It's a delayed problem.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. That'd be a tough sell. Good thing you didn't say that one.
Yeah. Too bad you asked.
Yeah. Pistols again for Vitality, unfortunately. MBK going for the underpass push. I don't know if he got away fast enough, seeing as people jumped out really quickly. Has he made his way through? MBK, yep, just going to pick his favorite angle, and Hunter manages to duck right under his really calculated crosshair placement. But Alex comes out with a nice CZ spray. It's a gun that's kind of lesser used nowadays, I want to say. And the CTs that have been corralled into the kitchen, into the market.
Hunter hot on their heels.
Now dispersed.
He's following the tracks. He's going to find Alex first. Ooh, knife him.
Oh my god, is he just going to try to knife him?
Skin him.
I mean, why not? Okay. Maybe
Alex turns and Hunter then strikes. Double kill off the FAMAS. ZywOo not ready for that play. And RPK fades away from A into the depths of which he came, the CT spawn.
I know what you're thinking.
But that's it.
I know what you're thinking, Connor.
What?
Game's over. But it's not.
It's never over.
There's still hope.
It's never over till it's over.
All right? There's still a chance. Vitality could bring this back. Valiance barely won that T-side round. They had such a sloppy start to it, too. Remember that jungle smoke they missed?
Yeah.
That was that same round.
That's true.
That was terrible.
That was a missed opportunity.
That was terrible. That smoke could have been bad the other way, and it would have been fine for them, if that makes any sense.
Had it been, you mean short on bench side as opposed to...
If it bounced too hard as opposed to too lightly as it did.
Right. I think I know what you mean.
It could have been wrong the other way. And they would have been able to win the round.
Pistols yet again for Vitality. This is not what you want to see them with. Valiance starting to pull ahead. 2 rounds, soon to be 3, the difference. An underhanded frag is good for a bit of chip damage, but Esperanto stops for no man. Farewell, Mr. Schmidt. Bomb plant from Hunter is going to be on the opposite side of the box. Nexa covering from Palace, sees all of the bodies line up, and this is just going to allow for the rifles to hone in on them. ZywOo, good for 2, but that's it and that's all.
So long and goodbye. Valiance 12-9 over Vitality. Now back on the rifles, though. This is what we want to see. What do Vitality have in store? Are we going to have any aggressive pushes? We know that they like them. They have the players to do it. We've got a lot of aggressive players on this team. And I mean, after removing Happy, you're removing one of the most kind of polar opposite to aggressive players. So I don't know. And he also might have been kind of an anchor for them mentally in that regard, trying to sell them on this lurker lifestyle and the benefits of playing slowly. They don't have that anymore. But Valiance are making their way out A ramp like they did on that previous round. Smokes haven't come out yet, and MBK is looking to take a fight.
Yeah, and already over his shoulder, 2 players have gone down. Now it's Apex with another. Hunter up close, reveals himself, and oh yes, 3 headshots for him. Just completely cracks this bomb site wide, and Letney yet to arrive from the bottom of mid. That's where he's going to find RPK's back turned. However, RPK not aware. Hunter single-handedly just destroying this bomb site, putting up another performance just like that at versus Mouse Sports. If you need a hard carry, this man's ready for the job. But is the job over yet? Because Alex still remains. No kit, no nades. But at least an op and a retrieved defuse kit now.
Wow, that's a really nice 3-piece. I feel like that just confirms that he's Nico's cousin.
Right, yeah.
Is that weird?
I can tell.
Like if Maury came out and be like, you are the cousin.
I wouldn't be even surprised. Not remotely.
That round was going to be over, right? They had one. Did they have one more player alive, or was it 2vx?
It was 2vx. And he just does it all.
It was 2v4, and he got 3 kills.
Yes, sir.
Do it again.
Over and over.
Why not? Just go walk up A ramp one more time. I mean, you got Nexa to 1v2. We haven't even had Esperanto's round yet, right? We've only got Nexa to 1v2. Hunter, aka Nico's cousin, get this insane 3-piece. which was basically a 1v3, didn't have any support in that situation. They could still walk up A ramp with another player. They've got Esperanto, who's the king of Mirage. He could go and do something, right?
Yeah, most certainly so.
Keep it loose. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even being facetious.
Keep it loose, keep it rolling. I mean, this is really good timing. HLTV released an article with Nexa in between the Mouse Sports upset and this best of 3 going live. And Nexa said, like, you know, when we combined Imperial with Valiance, what you're basically bringing is a very structured Serbian core into what was a very loose pug team with Imperial. And if they could combine the best of both worlds, that they'd have something great. That's what he anticipated.
Okay.
And right now, that's what we've got. You know, we've got some set-piece executions that came up a little short, but now we've got these loose individual plays that are also rocking Vitality's world. And not in a good way.
No, not in a good way. Economically are also just battering Vitality, getting them on ecos for the perfect rounds won. I think they've had 3 or 4 out of the last rounds be ecos for Vitality, so just in terms of value for rounds won, they're all-time high. Zai was pushed into an awkward spot, wants to try to recover that AK.
Oh, he's seen. Letney distracted by the footsteps behind him. Tries to whip around fast enough, but can't. Hunter's still up in the equation, though. He wants to duel the player CT, and he sees the shadow of the op. Oh, but he's caught with no gun in hand. Magazine goes dry, flashbang bounces deep, Glock chase, not gonna happen. But all the while, Nexa's picking up pieces. Or make that singular.
It's kind of an awkward duel. Somehow, wow. Hunter had just seen him there. That's surprising that he was able to get away. Alex didn't even decide to pull out the AWP. This could be a round here for Vitality, who started out with just pistols, but applied a good amount of pressure to mid. And now in the 2v1, Hunter, while he does have options, is on such low HP. Be surprised if you pull that out in RPK. Just, you know, watching that smoke while it's still up, that 15 seconds couldn't have been better spent. And he even had Alex, who had made a pretty keen rotate into the jungle with an AWP to cut anybody off falling back if that were going to be the case. Definitely a solid round there from Vitality. Rough from Valiance to lose it, but they got swarmed. They made it very difficult for them to get on their feet. Now, what do Valiance want to do? How do they follow up with that? Kind of want to steal back the economy if possible. It could be a great opportunity to reset if they win this. They are probably chomping at the bit to pull out all of the best strats, which is probably just going to be another walk-up A ramp, because that has been so good for them. MBK, once again from CT spawn. Let's see how he deals with this. Throws out a quick HE. And Esperanto gets caught crossing from Cat. Still no nades to come out.
Deep Molly flushes NBK's feet, but then the smoke blocks the vision. Apex off of the flash, tries to make the play happen. Hunter needs to cross the bomb, but he's also looking for duels, so he's got 2 jobs and only 1 set of hands. Luckily now with the smoke down, he can prioritize the plant. He's going to opt to do it on the side of the box, but Otto, what have you done? What have you done? If it wasn't for Letney picking up kills, then this one just goes from bad to worse. Letney alone in mid. That's a yikes.
Yeah, that's like a key frag in a bad way. He was just sitting there, so, I mean... I mean, it would have been 3v3, right? Like, that's a really important kill. And he was in a spot where he either gets flashed in a CT spawn or he waits for someone to peek and take some damage and goes for a duel and doesn't win it. That's really rough. I mean, it's clearly he just mistook him for someone else. Maybe hates him IRL, I don't know.
You know,
he wanted that guy dead. Yeah. No, that wasn't a mistake.
Careful, there's one on triple.
He hit the shot he wanted to at the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. Like, if he were to go into jail for that, it would be for manslaughter.
Yeah, not murder.
Not murder.
Key difference. Would he be eligible for parole?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a judge or a lawyer. Oh. Okay.
You never went to prison?
I never went to prison. Have you been to prison?
I have been to prison.
You have been to prison?
Yeah, yeah. Was there for a few months.
You gonna tell him why?
I work there.
This is still pretty badass.
Not if you knew what I did. I mean, yeah, most certainly. Yeah. It's the hard life. Scrawn dog. Big back.
Are they gonna do it again?
Why not?
I'm down.
I mean, all you have to make sure you do the exact same thing minus Otto's op shot.
Keep hitting shots, Otto.
And I think you're good to go.
Come on, baby.
I mean, the cover was there. Hunter could have prioritized plant.
It's the exact same setup that they're getting out of Vitality. So maybe they see that it's like usually just MBK cracks, like spotting from CT.
Yep.
And they go for retakes and they're comfortable. Okay, they've got some more smokes to come out really early, so.
Yeah. That's what really delayed the play in the previous round was the lack of smokes on the initial push. But now it might be the lack of players remaining. Esperanto could double this one back. They're going to go ahead and plant for cat side because CT not safe. RPK, consistent in keeping up vision, but that's a crucial kill. Otto dropped off of ramp. I mean, NBK and Alex, they've just been holding their own back here towards spawn. RPK is going to thoroughly clear the corners of Esperanto. So Letney's all that remains and immediately finds NBK. He needs to cut down the numbers before they all get this retake rolling or else he is screwed. He is doomed, and it's Zywoo to take him. One round the difference as Vitality start making this comeback happen.
This is the real big problem about going to the same site over and over again, especially, I mean, whether or not it works, I mean, you always run the risk of the team improving and adapting based on what they just saw, right? If you finish a round off, win or lose, you talk about what happened. If you're on the CT side, okay, they tried this, all right, we'll do this next time if they try this. And so the one counterplay is that Valiance did throw in a couple more smokes to assist them earlier on, and you know that jungle peak was a big problem last time. Esperanto died to the player on Cat who was holding it extremely passively. That probably should have never happened. So those were welcome changes for sure. But overall, it was relatively the same thing from the eyes of like NBK, who's sitting in CT spawn with only smokes on the right side of the site. And here they come up again through A ramp with just pistols, and they've got a couple of flashbangs and stuff to work with, but they're going to be more focused on their economy and getting this plant than anything else.
Yep, that's all right. Prioritize the money, you know, keep things rolling. The composure for Valiance should be there. That's another thing that I think is crucial in that interview article is that, you know, there was a turning point in the match versus Mouse Sports when we saw Valiance starting to let Mouse Sports back into the game. And Nexa, you know, he kind of really wanted to sell the fact that he told the team, like, everybody calm, keep your mindset positive, just remember that it's only going to take one more round to make this win happen. And I think in a situation where Otto gets a team kill, like, you can apply that same logic. Like,
sure.
Don't let this turn into an avalanche of rounds. Like, isolate it for what it was, an error within one round, singular. You know, it doesn't dictate the rest of the game.
Definitely. And he has had, well, he's actually only got 8 kills. And would have been 9 if not for the TK. But he had a really like fantastic round that I remember from when he played on Cat with the AWP, right. And I was like, whoa! It felt like he was having a lot of impact this game, but could be an off one. But as you mentioned, just can't let it rock you.
But it's actually Hunter, Nexa, and Esperanto at the top of the board, more than 20 kills apiece. Esperanto going to further it with 1 here in mid. It's 3v5 turned 3v4 now. Turned even ground. And a very tagged NBK hides in this corner. Nexa seems to know. Esperanto wants to pinch, and sure enough, the next casualty fumbles to the favor of Valiance. But RPK ready to come flying down through mid. Bomb's not yet in position as it exits out through ramp. RPK, unbeknownst to Valiance, is ready to strike, and Otto, presence of mind to anticipate that walk-up, sure enough, calls it to a T.
Let's go, Otto. Critical moments here, 14-13, round 28. Valiance, excuse me, follow up. They get a round on the board. It looks a lot more confident than in their previous situations. Now, it's going to be one more buy here for Vitality. They have some money remaining, but it's going to be rough to say that they would be able to buy next round. We'll have, I think, 1 round loss, if not 2. Alex takes a ton of damage. It's actually an HE combined with the Molotov on his way back to fully engulf him in damage by utility alone. A-ramp walkout can be so difficult to pull off, but they have been quite a pest for MBK and have wanted to try to bully him here in this position. That being said, he stayed alive almost every single time. even when they've had the entirety of the site.
Zaiwu seems to want to take the place of Catwalk. That's where he did pick up the equalizing kill versus Esperanto. Having given up that mid control, he's now wary of the window flank. So the A setup looks like Apex under Balk and support from CT Spawn. Hunter caught through the wooden pillar. Molotov now to the feet of Apex. That pushes him into the bomb site, and Otto just barely gets the kill. He was on the P250, understandably so. Although, it has swung back into, again, an even keel. 2v2 bomb down, health low.
This is crazy. The bomb, depending on where it is, if it's in the sandwich, it might be hard to retrieve. And yeah, Otto from the top ropes will be able to pick it up. They can try to get a plant down here. They don't have connector 100%, but they're going to get it down early enough that no one can come out of jungle. That's big. The fast rotate could count for something. NBK going to try to see if anybody's in connector. I don't know if they just push out together from here. Zaiwu's got a full utility belt. This could be huge. Oh, but Letney. He's got the right angle. He's sitting there at the stairs.
Yep, just blast them both. I mean, very clear what they're trying to accomplish there for the side of Vitality. You know, it's Bogdan's law, swap the op into the hands of NBK, put him forward, get the info, and Zaiwu's supposed to trade. But they line up so well to the position, of course, that counters their walkout, that it's all too easy pickings.
Damn, the mid-round is just a bit too good for Valiance, and Vitality, they're having to deal with the same beast over and over again.
Yeah, I feel like a part of that actually comes off of you know, their lack of hesitation. You know, they picked up the bomb from Sandwich. They didn't know whether connector or jungle was clear, but they just prioritized the plan.
It did seem like a bit of a risk.
Try to make it happen, and the risk paid off because we had Vitality going for this elaborate mid-round play.
Sure.
So, caught them in transition, and you're rewarded with the round.
For sure, yeah. They definitely had like a last spot at least one on CT spawn. Someone could have popped up in connector potentially, but they decided to throw caution to the wind. And it could have been off of a good read or just a blind risk, but either way, it was the right decision to make, I think, at the time. Round could have got a whole lot uglier if they waited any longer. Smoke will land in the window. Zaiwu with just a rifle, standing kind of off in off angle, takes down Otto, but gets traded out. That's 4-4. Not a bad position for Valiance to be in, especially considering that we've got a UMP, a FAMAS on the board. Apex only has a 5-7. What are Valiance going to do knowing that this is around that Vitality are forced to buy and they don't have that much money? They're going to favor A or B. It looks like B this time.
Haven't been here for a while, so maybe Vitality will be more willing to give it up. It's just RPK jump spotting, looking for that crucial info. We'll have Alex to help him from Cat if need be.
This is pretty big for MVK to have a ramp presence, so he can like free up rotates. He can like tell his teammates to gamble, and he can buy so much time, as we can see crack spotting with the smoke out.
Oh, but they've turned around.
Oh wow, yeah, and that, you know, MVK right there. He calls the rotate. He's like, take the risk here, and so we'll see what he can do. The problem for him is just that there's going to be a connector split as well. So depending on how much information Alex has on Cat to spot his connector, oh, that could spell trouble. MBK, what can he do? UMP spray is good for 2.
That's such a crucial 2K off of him. I mean, he calls for that rotate to the B site. He's the man that makes them go all in. And so he had a big responsibility, and he plays on top of the vase of all places. Completely bamboozles Valiance. And as they do retrieve the bomb, it's already been swarmed upon. That is Vitality with a 14th, and this map goes the distance.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, massive play from, well, both RPK to shut down the lurk, and then MBK to get the 2-piece with the UMP all alone after kind of having his teammates trust him to lock down a site. A big site with multiple choke points that you don't typically play by yourself, all by himself. Comes down to round 30.
It's a big responsibility for MBK to make that call, but an even bigger performance to pull it off.
So there's no telling who's going to be able to pull this out. It's been scrappy. It's been a lot of kind of A-site presence. It's been a lot of, you know, I'm coming up A-ramp, but I feel confident that I can kill you.
Yeah.
And then maybe this gets to the mid-round. Maybe someone makes a huge individual play. That's literally been both sides. So it's a tough one to call for sure. I guess we can first look at the money and see that clearly Vitality have a better buy. So that's going to count against Valiance for sure. Maybe around that auto turns up. He's got the AWP. We've seen him go massive with this thing. He hasn't had a fantastic game overall, but he's definitely in it to win it. And there wouldn't be a more important time for him to go absolutely ham for this roster.
Smoke in for Esperanto, just looming at the bottom of mid. Has support now coming down from the top in the form of LUCKEY, and Hunter has snuck behind enemy lines. If only the rest can survive. Enough time for him to arrive into the back of NBK, which he has. NBK turns, and he instantly gets that headshot. It's crucial. Between him and Nexa, they can pinch into the A site, but they need to get that bomb across no man's land. And you can see Vitality very quickly trying to pick up this situation. They've moved a player over to CT spawn. Hunter's pushed off of his initial position. That duel's unfolding as the bomb goes down. But remember, Letney's still in mid. So Vitality now, they're just going to charge right inwards. Apex, he holds off for no man, and RPK grabs that mid anchor. This could be Vitality pushing it to overtime. Nexa's back behind Firebox, jumping AK headshot, and an op back from Otto, misses the flick, and we are not done yet here on Mirage. Overtime is needed.
Yeah, they have to do this now. They have to go to overtime. Don't even know how we have a player who snuck into CT spawn, but that was a brand new way to kill MBK in a position they knew he was going to be in.
Through window.
Through window. Wow, just super fast activated.
Because you had one player who was the initial connector player, I believe Zaiwu, kind of hiding in the corner, or NBK in the corner. Excuse me. Someone in the corner, doesn't matter who. Zaiwu was window, got pulled out because of the smokes and the pressure being applied by Esperanto. And during that rotate from jungle to connector, you got Hunter slipping through.
Damn. Wow, so they circumvented the defense. Then they pulled the players out of Palace. They had the bomb cross and everything. I think the one thing they could have done was have Otto drop the bomb to the player who had the deagle, use the op, try to get that kill on stairs, potentially, you know, move towards CT spawn, put tons of pressure on these connector players as the bomb is going down, as they are more likely to peek, and maybe make it so that even though they have the bomb down, they've done it with a significant rifle disadvantage, and so they could have evened up in that situation and made it more competitive. But they probably got a lot more out of that than they should have in the first place, so got to give it up to Vitality for locking it down, bringing it back against all odds.
Apex immediately finding a kill this round. Costs him near half his health, but no grenades. Just makes that mid play from Catwalk. Zaiwu welcomes them forward. It would be an op duel, him versus Otto, if Otto continues to creep up from Cat. And Otto is honing in on this. Who wins this duel? It would be crucial for the mid control. Aha! Zaiwu bests him 5v3. Nexa walking out from ramp, something we've seen regularly. And a deep grenade damages NBK a bit. Not all too substantial. But another frag from Zaiwu. Nearing 30 at this moment. Esperanto finally going to get a little something done. Flashbangs over the stairs. And he's looking for the opper, but Zaiwu one step ahead. 3 kills from him in the first round of overtime. That's exactly what Vitality want.
Knocked it out, that's right. Yeah, they get to start this off strong. 4K for Zaiwu on that round. Huge plays from him. That's a good way to start things off for sure. They got to move into this. It is a 10K start, so it's not going to be the egregious double auto sniper setups on CD side where you have nothing to lose. Instead, they are going to be pretty careful about their money, but at the same time, they can buy out if they only get rifles, and that is the case for Valiance. Otto coming out with a straight pick to the A ramp to spot for a cross. There isn't going to be a target here. If once again postured up to do kind of that same simple walkout hit if they want to do it. And Otto looks to try to meet up with MBK if he's going to be there, but there's no one back in spawn. MBK has picked a new place to play from on the top of balcony. In a much more volatile spot, but he'll get info early. He might have a strong advantage on the first trade. Esperanto is coming to clear this angle. It's very tough to clear this safely, but he does get the better of MBK and activates on the second player as well.
Yeah, deep smoke versus Zaiwu. That's going to prevent nothing at all. Right through the smoke, Esperanto slammed down into the dirt, and his teammates will still take the site. But what a message. ZywOo could still go one above as he does jump over the ticket booth, spots the Molotov trajectory, and then plucks LUCKEY from the sky. I mean, he's kept his team in it, and with flashbangs flying, he moves on forward. Now it's versus Auto, a third from ZywOo. That right there is 7 kills so far in overtime alone. Nexa coming out from the Palace drops him, but can't further it with an additional kill. ZywOo being the difference maker here.
This kid is so nasty. It's like he's not going to miss. So you're just wondering like how he gets the kill, right?
Yeah.
It feels like
not if, but how.
Yeah, it's like auto director, you know, when they show you a player. It's like, well, Mr. Valve, I know you know the kill's going to happen, so just show me how it's going to happen. And that's what it feels like when you're watching ZywOo. He's got this off. He's going to hit the nasty flick. He's going to position himself well. He's going to hit it fast too. Like
2 rounds, 7 frags. I mean, when you see NBK die, like you said, that's a tough corner to clear. Esperanto pops him and then gets the follow-up frag. You think that's it, but it's ZywOo the difference maker. ZywOo was the reason they shut down Optic and didn't prevent, or rather did prevent the comeback earlier today. And now ZywOo's being the difference here in overtime when it absolutely matters most. That's the thing, is it's not like he puts up these numbers and gets these multi-frags in obscure moments that don't necessarily matter. He gets them when they matter most.
Yeah, look at him. He's doing a little Chris J impression right now. Sitting a triple with the AWP. Oh.
And this time it's just going to allow NBK. I mean, this is a clean sweep in OT for all I see. 4 frags immediately and no response off Valiance at all. 5 players standing. If that doesn't send a message, I don't know what does.
Yeah, that's a horse head in the bed.
Yeah.
When you wake up and you pull the sheets off and there's just a bloody horse.
Oh, horse head.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't watch movies.
I do, but...
You do?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, now you watch movies.
Yeah. I got a tablet for flights.
Suddenly you're a movie watching guy. Okay, I understand. All right, well, the only thing we're watching today is a frag movie.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So
you can make one in this map alone. I mean, after that first round at OT, or first half rather, excuse me, 35 and 22. Oh wait, no, that's an outdated score bot, so he did win better.
Yeah, he got 2 more kills last round.
My goodness.
And dare I say it, he's not done yet. He's like 16. He's got 10 hours left more of energy.
So that's 9 kills across the 3 CT rounds of overtime. He's averaging 3 frags a round in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink in.
Yeah, these are the most well-equipped players, Counter-Strike players ever. You're giving them everything they ever wanted in terms of money.
Yeah.
And they can start fresh, and they've just been warming up for an entire map. It's I was just putting them better, like no problem. So 1 more round, and the game's over. Vitality will take the first map. Valiance need to put 3 in a row together, and it was just so back and forth in the first 2 halves.
Yeah, and remember, in the first half when we saw Valiance on that CT side launders, it was the 5 of their 8 rounds come in the last 6 of the half. Like, they won pistol, converted for 1, got reset. Like, of the first 9, let's say, you know what, let's say just the first 7, exclude the pistols, you've got 6 rounds up for Vitality. So, I mean, you've got to give them the edge here, and especially the way that they just cut through Valiance like a hot knife in butter, smothered. Valiance maybe outclassed here when it matters most, but they're not down yet, so let's not write them off. We've seen double OTs already today. Why not another? Oh wait, ZywOo's up.
Yeah, 37, count him up. And now he's on the offense. Actually switching out to the rifle after getting that initial frag. He's going to have a little bit more mobility. It's going to be interesting to see what changes about the way he plays now. It's Apex to try to go aggressive with this op. I don't know how prepared he's going to be to try to get that kill. He's not. Letney's going to take him down.
Oh, ZywOo denied. Letney can't find the follow-up shot. Good trades from RPK, but Hunter has the element of surprise here. He's just hiding in the bushes. But more like prey than a predator. RPK and NBK combined for the final 3. Vitality win out in the first round of their T-side in overtime. I mean, ZywOo and ZywOo some more. He was the difference maker once we got out of regulation, and you can't deny that at all.
Yeah, you can't deny it at all. Hard-fought victory. It was kind of just as MBK called it, right? You know, in a hard spot, he was going to be the player who would come through when they needed it most. And it seemed like, yeah, they had some of the good pieces, some of the pieces of the puzzle there. They had some of the strats, some of the loose executions and lurks and everything like that. And then when things got a bit hairy, ZywOo comes through and gets the 3-piece for the family.
Right, you know, you keep them on the leash, you try to play your structure, and then when things really start to hit the wall, you just let it go. Which we're going to do as well. After this first map, we'll hand this one back over to Tress and the boys on the desk.
Yes, indeed. That is exactly what Valiance would have been lacking there, except for they weren't showcasing a ZywOo. My goodness, this guy is nuts. You ever heard of this guy? He's crazy. What do you guys know about ZywOo?
I got no idea about ZywOo, but the fact of the matter is this is the factor that MBK was talking about, right? That he can step up and he can pull out these moments for the team to make life a little bit easier than it has to be. Now, this was a close one, but I want to look at the adjustment in the second half. You saw multiple different playstyles coming out, right? Those streak of rounds that the guys from Valiance went on. Now, I don't mean this in a negative way because Mirage actually plays like this, but it was scrimmy, right? They were doing the mid-smokes and pushing through their smokes. Esperanto with multiple kills, pushing through and being aggressive in that sense. He pushed through Connector one round, found 2 kills. Meanwhile, Nex is pushing Cat at the exact same time, finds 2 kills, right? Those kind of rounds is when the individual skill and just the brilliance of being aggressive and catching them off guard comes in. Pause comes in. Everything chills. Vitality, the coach, you can see him behind. He's shouting orders. They go on a streak. It looks like, okay, they've solved the puzzle now. They're just going to win this one. The fact that it's gone to overtime and ZywOo's had to put in that massive hold to get them across the line, that feels like the chair's been pulled out from under Valiance, unfortunately.
Which is not what you want to have going into the second map. Again, we already put them in a position where they probably didn't think they were going to get to this matchup specifically, but they did find their way here, and now they're going to have to battle it back in a best of 3. So I guess what are some of your takeaways? I know that there's some other things going on to perhaps give a quick update on that right now, which would be Ints sitting 10-3 over Wendigo. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Go ahead now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think from Valiant's point of view, first of all, they themselves probably thought they would be in this game. Let's
sure, of course.
You're never going to go into a game thinking you're not going to take it, right? But again, I felt like for Vitality, for a little bit, the way that they were playing kind of got a little tedious at times where, yes, they got map control, but then once they established, for example, played themselves into Connector, things kind of stalled for far too much. For like 20, 25 seconds, it gave the opportunity to then have that aggression from the CT side, get that pick to have the man advantage, and obviously make the attack less effective to be made from multiple angles at the same time.
Sure, and this is one of the things, right? Like when you are playing a style that is a little bit more aggressive and you are getting that territory, if they're not giving you anything, they're not giving you the kills to snowball or then, you know, take advantage of that 4v5 situation, that's where you need to have a lot of practice and prep done. Now, this team has played a lot of maps together online, but this is only their second map played on LAN. So there's a lot of factors that you're not seeing while you're watching the game, right? You're not seeing the fact that these guys are probably very nervous. This for them is a new environment.
We saw a couple of rounds where there was like a missed smoke for jungle, or I think it was for Connector, where then Otto goes for a plant, but there's a bit of a gap. The bomb gets dropped before it gets planted. They feel like we're going to have this set piece. We're going to force into a after launch situation. But then those tiny little issues, those are the kind of things that happen to the inexperienced teams.
Let's also not forget that this was Valiance's map pick, right? So we're going to have to switch over now into the next map pick. It's going to be a little bit of inferno coming from the way of Vitality, but we don't want to jump into it too soon because we're going to need to go to a break to catch our breath and perhaps you to catch your breath, which was on the other end of that overtime. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going to come right back real quick. I can almost guarantee it. See you then.
Think you can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Counter-terrorists win. Think you can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
Valiance now hunting back on track, looking forward to the next map, and they're not going to let anyone stand in their way, and you ought to know that Esperanto will be the one that perhaps leads them on into the victory or into the defeat here as we look to finish out our first best of 3 of the EU Minor. My name is Trey Saranthus. My esteemed colleagues here on the analyst desk will be sponging not to as we look into the second map of this best of 3 series. Inferno, to be exact, it's going to be Vitality taking on Valiance, and after the first one going all the way, a few bonus rounds in there. Now we go into Vitality.
Just like we like it.
Yeah, we should state to everybody, because we have been saying that, you know, Vitality have a very good win record on a lot of maps, right? And Inferno is their pick in this situation, and they are currently 14-0. Now, you have to include a lot of online results and not necessarily playing against Tier 1 opponents. But the fact is, if you look at a couple of their stat lines as to why they're so good on this map, they have a 78.6% win rate on the pistol rounds. You look at the top 20 teams in the world over the last 12 months on Inferno, the closest is MIBR with 62.5%. So that's quite a high win percentage of pistols. And then the next stat line you look at is like the 4v5s or the 5v4s, the game changer stats. So let's look at the 4v5, and when they're down a man, they win 46.6 of those rounds. And now you do the same thing. You look at the top 20 teams in the world. The closest in that scenario is none other than Astralis, and they're only down at 34.7. So obviously inflated by the opponents that they are playing, but if they can have similar to those stat lines in a matchup like this, they're sitting pretty, and it should be a 2-0.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. But at the same time, it's only been a few days since these teams actually played one another in the MDL, and that was like 22-20 banger of an overtime game. And T-side had wanted that 11 on for both on the T side. Yep. So if that's anything to go by, it could still be a very, very close affair.
Well, I think it's going to be harder to see the scrimminess or the individuals step up and make those kind of plays from a team like Valiance. So I think the lockdown is going to come in here.
So the lockdown has to be that we end this series out 2-0.
Feeling that way.
Yeah, it's more likely than not.
More likely than not. And again, we do have to remind you that we are going into the map pick of Vitality, who have sported the first map in their favor, and we're going to be sporting it on ourselves as we pass it down to the commentators. They're sitting idly by on the sidelines down there on the field, getting ready, getting warmed up, and getting ready to deliver all the verbs, adjectives, and adverbs that you can possibly think of. It's going to be Scrawny and Launders scrawning it together or something like that. Take it away, guys.
To scrawn, Launders. Is that a verb? Can we use that?
Yeah.
What would that mean? If you had to take a shot in the wind here, what is it to scrawn?
I feel like it'd be like to scrunch would be like to scrawn almost.
All right, to smush something, to crush it. Okay, I get it.
It'd have to be something crinkly. Because scrawn has the attribute of being kind of crumpled.
All right. So do you think that Valiance can scrawn this 14-0 record of Vitality on their own map pick, or do you think that this series comes to a stutter and a close at a good old 2-0, Launders?
It's a really good question. I actually think that this will be a 2-0, even though I haven't seen Vitality play Inferno for myself with my eyes peeled and focused on every single round. I haven't seen it myself, so I don't know what makes their Inferno so special, or if their stats have been kind of inflated by playing the wrong teams and maybe some of them not being on LAN.
Right.
We'll find out today. I think at the very minimum, they'll be comfortable.
Are they really that good, or have they just been suckering a bunch of chumps?
Right, exactly.
Because Valiance are no chumps. We saw that in the previous map. You know, they can tear it up until overtime comes and Zywoo activates. But that's just because he's a Counter-Strike killing machine. It smokes over the top of the B bomb site. Classic stuff, pretty standard. Esperanto comes to help out his long-term teammate. And then Hunter joins them. So this is a good old 5-man retake. 10 players up with the bomb down. Time ticking swiftly and quickly. But Valiant's taking their time. They're only now getting into position. They've got that smoke to block off Banana. It does nullify a single player in the form of NBK. He spams to draw attention, and Zywoo comes out swinging from the barbecue corner. Otto with another team kill, and the rest go to Vitality. That is 5 survivors for the Frenchman.
Never a big fan of playing retake on the B side of Inferno. There are ways to do it. They were prepared for it. They did have a kit. They did have a Molotov. They did have a flash, and they did have a smoke. So they were able to smoke off Banana. They could have used their Molotov tactically for either emo or quad, depending on where they found those players to be. When they pushed into CT like this, there were just some shots that were missed. You know, Zywoo's not some magician that also has the ability to like dip and dodge better than somebody else. He was just strafing left and right, and they couldn't hit him in the head. So there was a chance there that they could have cleaned that up and moved move forward with the retake. I just personally feel uncomfortable, I think, when I see teams going in for a 5v5 retake on Banana, especially on the pistol.
I was going to say, that really emphasizes things. You know, if you got those Molotovs for the back of the bomb site and that same smoke for Banana, then I think there's an argument to be made for it. But on pistols, I'm 100% with you, Mo.
Cool. Yeah, if they have like maybe an op and CT spawn and then they can molly someone out quad, take a free shot before moving in, you'd feel like their odds could be a bit higher, but pistols can get a bit random at times. But either way, it works out well for Vitality. They pick the right site to go to. Nexa tries to play it safe, not peeking down Banana with the USB first, and that's the decision he made. That also took time off of the bomb clock, as players had to rotate over after the bomb had been planted early because they didn't have that info, but maybe he wouldn't feel safe trying to crack spot the wall, which is an easily pre-fireable angle and could have just gotten him killed and had the round thrown away for other reasons. So, again, just going over the different variables and potential thought processes for why they had their setup. LUCKEY here's going to throw a smoke down on Banana, try to shuffle the rotates over. They've got one more smoke, and I was kind of paying attention, but I don't know if they've already put down 2 or 3 smokes. It seems like they really just don't want them to go Banana, and they're going to continue to try to shuffle them over. Hunter is not in a good position to get here, however, as the T's are going to make their way through.
Substantial damage dished out by LUCKEY. RPK weathers the storm, moves into the bomb site, and once again Vitality plant with 5 of their teammates alive. And, well, this time Valiance, they're not going to all congregate together inside of the church. No, sir. They're going to just dip out of dodge and move towards the A site, find safety, sanctuary elsewhere, try to move this one forward. Why not? But what a classic play, right? Those delayed smoke grenades. I mean, it creates one of 2 situations. Either A, it's just meant to try and push Vitality back to the A site where you end up stacking there, or, you know, you play like the kind of doubled layer fake where you're making it seem as though you're just puffing your chest with smoke grenades and then you're actually all hiding in the corners of the B site.
Yeah, no, it can be very hard to tell from the outside what teams are doing just because it's been done so often. Sometimes it is a fake, sometimes it is a double fake, and sometimes they're playing underwater backgammon. It's hard to say. But Vitality found a good spot there where they had just enough time to get in safely. They were at the top of Banana. They had all their players full HP and utility in hand, so I don't think they were too worried at that point. Good attempt on the eco, though. Cheap way to try to delay time on Inferno. I think the originator of the term smoke strike, where it just came down to trying to bleed as much time off the clock for the T's on Banana as possible. Now the game's a bit different, and we'll maybe see that in the next round when we have rifles, but there are tons of ways to try to circumvent it. Be a little bit more aggressive. The choke points are a bit more wide and friendly to T's, making it easier for them to find these opening kills without having to sit behind smokes. And a lot of that also was changed with the round timer becoming slightly extended.
Yep.
Those are well-placed grenades. If he was on top of first oranges, that could have been deadly. But again, another kind of eco. It's basically recycling all the guns from last round. Basically another replay, except this time, Vitality have picked the A site to hit.
Still behind the curtain of smoke, though. One player over on Arch side. Hunter. Coming out and around just as it begins to fade. Unfortunately for him, ooh, does he find the timing or does he actually get caught? All right, finds the safety. Very well calculated, in fact, but unfortunately for him, Alex grabs him with a USP of all things. Esperanto with a double deagle. All right, back into the 3 versus 3. This is one of those situations that seems to emerge from nowhere, and now he's even upgraded into an AK. Things could go from bad to worse. He has the Kevlar on him. And the bomb plants in the site. Esperanto, this would be a killer race, but only 4 frags cut at the final hurdle, and Alex already seems to know where Nexa's coming in from. He has an inkling, an idea, and a position to counter it. The damage is there, but the frag's not yet. Alex dancing left and right. And Nexa given 2 chances too many.
My goodness. What a play from Esperanto. Those 4 kills were insane, man. And he took a small risk by moving through the smoke. Just said, okay, if they're not watching it here, then I have a position. I can take a 50-50 on the 1v1. No one's there to trade right away. I can set up again for another 50-50. Threw caution to the wind. Great round to do it where he doesn't have much to lose. His team's not expecting to win anything. Does the economic damage. And even though they don't win, that counts for something. So pretty good attempts. And now we get into the meaty rounds. The rounds with rifles in hand. It's going to be full nade sets and everything like that. Just no head armor and kits on majority players for Valiance. Otherwise, they're going to be looking pretty comfortable. 3-player banana setup as Vitality posture up to take mid quickly. And Arch is wide open.
Otto's going to just go ahead and smoke that off, tries to prevent the wraparound.
Oh my god.
I feel like with a MAC-10 though, NBK is not going to shy away from just barreling straight through it. He's toying with the edge of the smoke, but it is still 3 kills first for Valiance. They are denying this entry entirely. Otto firing off shots, only Alex to respond, and he doesn't stand for much longer. It's 3-1 immediately from the CTs.
Holy hell, that was really nice. So hold, I mean, there was 3 players who were completely smoked out on the rotate, and I was gonna laud Vitality for making that call. It seemed like they were extremely prepared for potentially Valiance to start out the round with the 3 banana setup, and so they decided to take top mid quickly. Arch was wide open. They kind of skipped through angles, like right-clicking the smoke into library, like just doing everything on the fly. So it really felt like they were going off a read, and it seemed like a good one. But for some reason, they still couldn't get in. That's like pretty much the optimal way to take the A site. If you get full Arch control, and you have 5 players alive, and they still could not even get that opening frag. So suddenly Vitality have been slowed down. They're not going to rush things, and Valiance have taken banana control this time, but immediately cheated over a player to A. Oof, that's a fantastic HE. 55 damage on that.
But the response is NBK's dead. Nobody to follow up on the damage of the frag either, but Esperanto's still a liability here. It's important, of course, that he keeps his eyes down range. He's going to be able to call for that quick rotate. 2 Arch players as well for Valiance means that they can get things rolling swiftly. But now with the smoke, they're just going to try and charge through it. They're using the flashbangs, and Esperanto responds with a Molotov. Could slow them down, could make them double back. It's the option open for Vitality. But you can see how quickly Valiance are ready to jump that gun and rotate support over. Esperanto with a crucial first pick, can't follow it up with a second shot. Nexa to be flashed through the smoke, it seems, does come in, and ZywOo sends him packing. Bomb planted immediately thereafter. Apex nearly caught through spam, but Hunter not able to get that last final bullet in.
Oh, they've got the insurance policy on banana. More nades here for Valiant, so that could be good. Oh, fantastic HE to the corner of Emo.
They've done a good job of softening these players up. Now it's just going to come down to the push. That final bombardment forward. Who wins the gun duels? First it's Apex, but it's traded by the Opper. Bomb now 3/4 of the way gone. And Alex, just as an anchor in the back of this site, buys enough time for Vitality to deny the retake. And ZywOo, well, of course he gets the smoke spam.
Of course, yeah. Critical engagement won by Alex, and the jumping player across the screen. You know, that's where time is high, like good enough that they could maybe even fake defuse. They could bait someone into pushing through that smoke on banana, but he hits it like dead eyes. So very nicely done. 4-1 now for Vitality. Clean entrance onto the B site. Valiant still have another buy in the books. Hunter is only going to have a CZ to his name, and Otto's got a deagle. No armor for him. Next, so moseying his way out to the top of banana. Not a way to fall back at this moment.
Ooh. So he just goes ahead and wins the duel instead, and follows suit with a kill versus RPK. Esperanto's MP9 might not be the most hardware in the world, but it's still good enough for substantial damage.
Oh yeah, he lights him up.
Puts NBK into the clutch. He's got time for the plant, could and did grab an AK. Where's he go from here?
This is tough. Yeah, you can fight from behind the fire if you'd like to, but he basically wants to find the area with one player.
Otto about to turn away, but, you know, keeps presence of mind, watches the smoke push, knows that could be a very real exit for NBK. You know, not knowing where the bomb was planted. If it was open site like it was, CT would have been a great after plant for Nathan. But no, sir. He does not clutch the 1v3. Numbers win this time around, and, well, it's still the 2-point lead for Vitality, but the buy is what's in question.
Really sick frag on ZywOo from Nexa. just so good at playing like for himself when he needs to. I mean, again, one of the tougher players to probably try to deny an entry from, just like straight up in the world. So even though ZywOo seems to know he's there and gets some damage off, he hits that first bullet headshot and then gets the second kill off of a good flash and does some extra damage as well. Now Esperanto on the fallback is in a second wave of insurance with the MP9 to his name. Gets about 150 damage off of. And whoa, it's actually Nexa and Esperanto to switch spots.
That's a classic move, right? You get isolated by Molotovs and attempted kills in the previous. Nexa goes, yo, Esperanto, you should play that spot.
Oh my god, they don't know he's there. He 4-3.
Oh my god. Oh, shocked and surprised, but still he denies any banana control here from Vitality. Good 2 frags and an assist as Otto gets in here. And the last kill should be versus Alex. CZ not meant to get much more.
That could have been a key play if they had spotted him. It would have been over. But I think he got 4-3'd there. I'm assuming. Player crossed left across the screen at the top of Banana. But Esperanto, even before dying, make sure to take one with him to the grave. And look at that fast rotate from Otto.
Yeah, he was there immediately.
There in a jiffy.
I mean, you know, he needs to be a good teammate for the rest of the night.
Yeah. I feel like everybody, like anybody can get cut at any time on this team. So.
Ooh, and again. Gotta reiterate, grenades have been fantastic this series.
Yeah.
Just EU nades.
Value HEs. Yeah, we got to win another major so that we can like get to work on removing the derogatory NA this, NA that phrases. Like my line now is that we won half the majors last year.
Yeah. You can't, you know, objectively true, Lungers.
Yeah.
They're onto something.
Yeah, but eventually, like, what am I going to say?
Yeah,
I don't want to plan for failure either, right?
Right.
So, come on, Liquid.
I mean, more North Americans in the top 20 of HLTV this year than ever.
Yes. Canadians.
2 Canadians. First time a Canadian makes it, and there's 2 of them.
And those are the only ones, right?
No, Elige made it. And Automatics on it, too.
You're right.
So I believe there's 4.
Okay, cool.
And they're waiting to put Stewie #1.
Yeah, I mean, the Americans, they're close. They're all right. They're cool. We like them.
We need them, just on population size.
Yeah.
You know, we're in it together.
They got like 3 times our population, but whatever. They only have 2. It's fine. They're still pretty good.
Don't put a target on our back. Okay.
We're cannibalizing each other before we've even made it.
Into the buys we go. Score tied at 4 apiece. A little exchange of grenades down Banana, but it's just a puffing of the chest. Single player for Valiance in that direction. The 4 stack with a heavy presence here on Truck Lane. The Opper, most notably. Ready to deny Alex any kind of a boiler peek. I love this angle because you need to be good with that like minute flick shot, right? You need to be watching middle, but if the player comes out from door, you got to be ready to react. Luckily, Nexa's here. He's no longer towards Banana, where he's been locking it down with multi-frags. He comes to A and does the same. 5v3 immediately, all thanks to him. Oh, and I just noticed there's a prize on top of it all. The bomb was at his feet. But Apex doesn't want to let off the gas pedal. He charges in through the guise of smoke, grabs the device, and doubles back to join his teammates as they'll now head out towards B.
Yeah, he threatened Arts there a little bit too, but it looks like Hunter just went right out to try to get that information. I think if Apex didn't have the bomb, he could have stayed there as a lurk and wreaked havoc, but it's going to come down now just to Esperanto. Pretty terrifying prospect to have as a site anchor. Alex does have a smoke. Probably want to go ahead and throw that into CT spawn and work on isolating Esperanto. Gets pushed out in the open, doesn't get a kill either. Hunter, however, does.
Bomb plant from Apex prioritized. Oh, Hunter seems surprised that RPK had already arrived to the depths of that B bomb site. My favorite, 2v2s. Utility here for Valiance. Molotov on Otto, who's just working his way in from Banana, trying to skewer anybody towards the coffins, but RPK plays that deeper of positions. Oh, and it's Apex with an immediate headshot, so now the Opera's alone, and I'm sure the tantalizing offer of a save, yeah, too much to say no to.
And they're out. That's a... and they're out. That's a solid recovery, man. It was another round where Nexa just looks so fantastic, right? He's just like another two-piece at Boiler, like not even on the B side anymore. Just incredible headshot percentage so far. 12 kills already in this map.
Just flying across this map.
And some of these rounds he's getting these kills and they still lose, but still, like, that was a round where they got the bomb recovered, they smoked out the players. Apex went through, because he's never scared, and got it back and got a trade.
Yeah.
So there was that.
And I think that's one of those moments where it's really important to highlight, like, the skill set that a guy like Apex brings. Like you just said, no fear, right? No fear. He's going to enter. He'll run through smokes, no flash, doesn't matter. He's confident in that endeavor. And this is when it pays off, because if he's not willing to do that, or if he's not even successful in doing so, bomb stuck in no man's land, Nexa's just going to camp on it like a goose with its egg, and that's it. It's done for. Like, there's no other response. Your other two players are at the bottom of Banana, probably transition into a save or, you know, feel out the B site. Like, it's all on Apex to do what he does best, and sure enough, it pays off.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they actually did a fantastic job isolating Esperanto. Didn't even need to use like complicated nades, just a smoke into CT, and then they saved their Molotov for quad, which is one of the more difficult positions that players can utilize as CTs to like sit solo. So gets called out on that as well. RPK trying to be a nuisance on Banana. That's the life that you lets the device life at where you're at the bottom of Banana. You just get hit by every nade, every piece of spam possible, but he's a tank. This is what he wants. And look at that, one of the key players on the map, probably the MVP so far for Vitality, gets killed immediately, and an off angle from Apex, who's not worried about an opper.
Nope.
Silly opper.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. I'm walking here.
And he will continue to walk his way closer to the B site. Hunter with an angle up and above. Apex didn't seem all too ready for that one. So a taste of his own medicine. Off angle gets the best. Alex parades out from the palace. Falls into the depths of pit, where Letney gobbles him up. So now the options are open. You've got 50 seconds, and Vitality, with the side-by-side setup, have bomb on Arch. But Otto, scoped in and ready, should swing out and clear the corner. Sees the gun barrel, and that goes both ways. Zywoo saw it too. We've got Letney repositioned within the bomb site. He's not going to play the pillar, but a more off angle fires the AK. That gives away the info, and now he's just dodging bullets because they outnumber him 2-1. But around the pillar he goes, riding the pole,
oh my God,
grabbing both frags. That's an excellent play from Letney.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I thought he kind of blew it with that first tap being missed. But
right.
How good everybody is, right? Like, it's like you can't afford to miss those shots anymore. And he still played the box to perfection. Didn't succumb to the pressure of the Molotov as well. Nice attempt there from RPK to get that opening kill. Some good trades that happened. Apex on Esperanto, Esperanto on RPK. But when all was said and done, and also I like how they like exploited Arch, because they knew that the one player spotted at A was in pit, and there was so much Banana pressure. The Arch was probably open. They went and took that. It was pretty simple, good, sound, fundamental Counter-Strike from both sides. At the end of the day, the better team won. And it put Vitality on not a save. They forced. They're
French.
They're French. But this is the thing. Even if you force, if you buy down to 0, you don't have a lot of money when you double save.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have a full buy. In my opinion, when you do these rounds, even though you're going to double save, you should still save like $500 to $600. But at least they're on T side, so they don't have as many expensive purchases.
Yeah, it's really just RPK and MBK who've bottomed out, so we'll have to see how the acronyms fare once we get back to the buys. So far, nothing's really slipped by Valiance. Sure, Apex grabs himself an M4, but he's going to need himself one hell of an entry out the apps. And Letney will attempt to hold him back just like he did to Alex in the previous round. Although he is exposed, great off angle, pops the noggin of RPK, doesn't see the pit player drop. That's Apex on the M4 with a potential for a second. He will get that headshot, but he's found himself alone. Swapping to the AK with 30 seconds left to grab the bomb on top of it all. I mean, a bomb plant would be great. I think that mitigates the investment they made this round.
Mm-hmm.
At the least, Launders, because he's still standing, confident and ready to rock and roll. Needs to be cautious, because Esperanto is causing a great distraction. But Apex seems cerebral, anticipates Nexa walk-up. These two CTs have been teammates for a very long time, so they should have the synergy to make this happen. And they will work their way in, slowly but surely, not even expending all the nades they had, just just the minimal investment to what is the pickup versus Vitality.
Yeah, that was nice. They kept it simple. You know, a badly placed smoke could work in Apex's favor, so it's probably better they use one flash to gain ground, and then they use a Molotov to flush anyone out of positions. Or even if a Molotov lands near you that you don't think is going to hit you, it still negates a lot of the positions that you could change into once you get a kill, or somewhere you'd like to go based on what you've recently heard. So just the fact that the Molotov lands can make a player uncomfortable enough that they're just not ready to hit their shot, which is good. Just threaten them with fire. Pistols once again for Vitality as they now lose their round lead.
Right, and I think, again, like, buying down to the way they did would have come back to haunt them. With that bomb plant, they'll be all right now after this save in and of itself.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
That very real threat has at least been dealt with.
And they've still kept Valiance low with the amount of, like, players that they killed, which is nice.
All in all, worth the, worth the return investment. I just have a feeling RPK is going to rail somebody down. Oh, no, it's NBK. Now he could get Nexa. Oh, he does do the dink. Does NBK follow suit? No, sir. Nexa repositioned swiftly. But Alex, dear Alex, this P250/Deagle, it's not going to take much damage onto the 3 remaining players. Nexa, however, again, just in this random spot, really catching players off guard. Obvious advantage of the M4, and that's how he goes ahead and works it. 3 kills for him on the anti-eco. Remember, there was this hard reset in the middle of things to the favor of Valiance. But now we're back in with a buy.
4 Molotovs on the board. We don't know what they're going to do next. But we've seen success from them on Banana. We know that they like to work that a lot. I mean, they've also spent a number of rounds kind of going into the halls at first, going through the motions there, clearing out top mid. But here they've exchanged nades to make sure that nobody can have bottom banana control for free, and MBK jumps into hall so quickly. Takes Auto out of the round. Don't know if he was opping, but it seems like he was, maybe? I'm trying to make out that gun. Yeah, it is actually an op. And Zywoo shuts down Arch. Nice and easy.
Through smoke, I assume. I didn't see a gap there to work with. Esperanto wary of the potential smoke play, but it's not there. It's over close to the left. Can't manage the flick. Zywoo ready for the walk-up. Just doing what he does. You know, picking apart the bomb site player by player. Alex going to join forces here, and that's the 3-man pinch with bomb in tow. So what do you know? The moment they have their guns, Launders, they've got a mouthful of success.
And there it is. When it rains, it pours. 5 alive. All nice entries. And they've got money left over, 2 rounds up, and all that economic damage has now come back to haunt Valiance. They have not enough to put together an amazing buy, but because they're on CT side, they can make use of these UMPs. Esperanto's got a Deagle. He's going to be one of the players playing B, potentially. I don't know if they'll change the setup up. Might be an opportunity for Auto to be a little bit more mobile, unpredictable with the op. And here, yeah, he's going to head over to B. I don't know. It seems like a pause is called. There's a lot of furious typing going on. You ever play Type Racer?
No, what's that?
It's just like you typing, like you can
to get
type
your like
fast against
strokes
other
per minute
people.
and whatnot?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Okay. What are you, my girlfriend?
You never in school? No? That was a thing?
Oh, I mean, not specifically the one you just said, but I've used those programs, Launders.
Okay. So do you know your words per minute?
No.
No. Okay.
This is elementary school. I'm not that young. It's like 2 decades ago.
Okay. I was just wondering if you knew how fast you could furiously type words.
I'll give you something about that.
You're spamming.
Yeah.
You're button mashing.
I was. But I did actually, in the process, open up the HLTV scoreboard to take a little gander here, and I've just realized Auto's a little low here on the kill count, Launders. I don't like to single people out, but...
You just did.
I know. I said I don't like to do it. Not that I wouldn't.
But you also did it on Mirage.
Did I?
Oh, no, I did it, actually.
Oh, you dirtbag.
Because he killed the guy, and I was like, oh, he actually only has 8 kills.
Right.
And then we just started talking about auto every single round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you're going to team kill, you're going to get the spotlight turned.
Oh, we wanted him to be a hero.
Right.
So, and is that what you want now?
Yes, but I just wanted to recognize the fact that, you know, it's not an easy job opping on it.
It's because you hate not to, and you're just picking on the one fin.
No. I guess it's kind of easy to forget that there are fins outside of Ents.
Yeah, and if you guys were wondering who the top 5 players left were on HLTV.
Easy for Ents.
Easy for Ents.
No, 2019 is the year of Finland.
Yeah?
Yep.
Like in what sense? They're going to win a major?
Listen, Launders.
You said the year, so... I mean, it was the year of Astralis, but that came with a major, I think.
I mean, in the same way that, like, let's say 2017 was, like, the year of Kazakhstan, where we saw this emergence.
And won a major.
Yeah, I know. This. Well, God damn it! I'm out of here.
It comes with a major, dude. You can't just say it's a year of.
It was a year of emergence, you know, like.
It'd be like the
Kazakh
year of
what, and then boom, you get a face full of Gambit. Now it's gonna be the same with Finland.
Finland.
Yeah.
I guess if Mouse Sports win, it even.
I think it's because they just won the junior nationals hockey tournament in Canada. Finland won. So
they're good at hockey.
They are good at hockey.
They're good at Counter-Strike too.
They're hockey. They're good at Counter-Strike, and those are really the only two sports.
Would you say that they're better at hockey than they are at Counter-Strike?
I'd say so.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But you think you're going to be?
I mean, you could say the same. You could say the same for Canada too. Like we've got good.
Not this last year.
Not this most recent one.
This last year is a big year.
Just to let you guys know, the reason NBK is got his headphones off, it was his PC that's again giving us issues.
Yeah.
And so he is back in the server, which means we're going to be starting live. I've used this PSA as an interruption to divert the conversation away from hockey because I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Talking about.
Trying to just flex on you, bud.
But you think Ents are going to win the major?
No.
Oh, you don't think they're going to win the major? You think they're not going to win the major?
I just meant they were going to have a good year, man.
No, you said it was going to be their year. It's very different. A lot of people are going to have a good year. There's not even much to argue with there.
I'm starting to sweat.
That can be very subjective.
Put me in the hot seat.
But if it's going to be your year, I mean, if it's going to be your whole year, then, I mean, you've had to have some, like, grand accomplishments.
I just want all of you out there to know
like crowning moments.
That working with Launders is always encompassing these kinds of lectures.
And what would it be without a major as a Counter-Strike team?
You can't just slip up and say something half-assed.
You mean just like Finland outside of CS? You know, could it just be other? Like, is Finland just Finland as a country?
They're just off to a great start.
Like they're going to prove that they exist this year.
Yep. I mean, some people question it.
Yeah.
Is it really true?
It's true. You know, facts have taken a backseat in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So.
Truth, not
it's
that
all
important.
Up for debate. Have you seen it for yourself? You know, hey. I mean, this room is flat, so.
No, we fly in airplanes, Launders. We know what's going on.
Curved glass.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's ridiculous. Oi, oi, oi. Hopefully we'll be good soon enough. Mr. Schmidt.
Gotta stay focused. Maybe you just let go of all focus. Yeah, that's best.
Just play brainless Counter-Strike?
No. I mean before the pause ends.
Oh, right.
Like instead of trying to stay super focused.
Yeah. Take the opportunity for what it is, a complete and total mental reset.
Exactly. Take your shoes off for a second.
I mean, we're trying to stay focused, and look how that has turned out, you know? So
I'm not trying anything right now.
Just being you.
Are you staying focused right now?
No, I'm pretty distracted.
Okay.
Rolling this pen around.
No.
Thinking of something funny to possibly say. You know, the pressures are really on this.
How's that going?
These are the kinds of moments where, you know, we can define our character. And
you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Right. You know, and
yeah.
That's why mine's about as flat as this room.
In moments that you really define yourself.
I mean, let's be real, right? You're supposed to bring the coolness to this duo, so I think.
Am I not?
Oh, you got to really work hard because you've got some ground to make up for.
Let's just say this is my year, okay?
Why, you gonna win a major?
No, I mean I can't. I mean I could, I guess, but I mean I'd probably have to be playing instead of casting a minor.
Do you think I could have gotten anywhere as a player, Launders? You think we've played enough?
You have like 2,000 hours.
Bro, like 4,000 and a half.
4,000 and a half?
4,500 hours.
Oh, damn.
Mind you, a lot of that is also casting. You know,
yeah.
Online CS.
Probably a lot, yeah. I have 8,000 hours, but like I don't even know how much is casting.
I mean, I was asked to IGL a main team once, so I'm pretty sure I could make the minors.
Nice. So I don't know what the minimal level for. I mean, minors now are nuts.
Yeah, they are. yeah.
The weird part is you could be as good as a player who makes it past a team who makes it past the minor and lose to minor teams just because of how like different they are. You know?
Yeah, curveballs.
QBFs.
Yeah.
So we call them in the biz.
I'm happy to see Boomich back in action.
Boombla.
Boomble 4. He's a character and a half, that guy. He's one of those players, I think kind of like how Ye with Complexity kind of blew up. You know, when Complexity made that run, it's like he's just very lovable.
Yeah.
There's something about his character that people like to latch onto. They want to see certain people succeed. He was one of them. And, you know, in the few words that we've spoken, him and I can reaffirm to everyone at home, he's really cool.
Good. That's good to know. Sucks when you think someone's cool and then you meet them and they're not cool.
Yeah, I mean, you really disappointed me there.
I really opened myself up to that one, didn't I?
A little bit. But let's get back into the action, Launders. I think it's about damn time we see some more Counter-Strike, okay? Brains focused, guns honed in, and a lot of bodies set up over towards Banana. We've got Molotovs popping off, op shots raining down range, and Esperanto about to wrap around the corner, but he's immediately denied by RPK. The tank trudges forward over the top of the trenches. Next up, nice shot.
Damn, RPK had no idea that he could be there. I think they might have just missed a Molotov, which is huge. Letney, good focus. Zaiwu trades him through the smoke, and they've got pick control. So even though it's 3v3, CTs have aptly made it over to the A side. They've already been pushed into terrible positions.
Yeah, enough pressure on that Banana setup initially from Vitality to kind of get them into the A site without Valiance having rotated. They didn't have time to move over, but now we've got a 3v3 retake. These are fun.
They've got another smoke there for Arch as well.
Yeah, lots of smokes actually still in play, even 2 for Valiance.
They can Molotov halls, they can smoke lane. Let's see if Valiance even try to go for this. Oh, Nexa though.
Just trying to find an angle out. I mean, he can clear a bunch of positions from inside of the apartments first. Apex just committed to the graveyard stairs. That's the first point of contact. Now he can just hide. He can hide and allow for his teammates to get the rest of these frags, or Valiance don't even try their hand at this effort because that AWP and M4 are so damn valuable. Yeah. 7 rounds, tied up. Vitality have evened the score.
Yeah, you could see, even with full intention to go for the retake, because there was enough utility there to shy them off one choke point, Molotov them off another, and then even threaten with another flash and smoke. There was just no way by that time, no matter how good these players were, to like have a clean shot or like a free route onto the site. So, you know, yeah, utility in the post plant's enormous. It's another argument for, you know, not using too many or too much of your utility trying to execute to take a site.
Right, like set
your job's only half done.
Yeah, set piece executes are all fine and dandy. They can make the entry fine, but, you know, getting in and planting the bomb is only half the job.
It'll be really interesting to see what Valiance can bring on the T side, and if Vitality are only looking forward to their CT side.
Remember, for those of you uninformed, 14-0 currently is the record for Vitality on Inferno.
Yeah, they're like a discount Astralis, like a discount Astralis run on Inferno. Just because it's not all tier 1 teams. I don't even know if it's any tier 1 teams. There might be 1 or 2.
You don't have to worry about the context. Just look at the number.
Numbers.
14.
Bigger numbers, better.
Oh. You know, up in lights.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks of numbers.
If there was a sales pitch, it's that.
Yeah, just green arrows and big numbers. This could make it 15. And that sensor is a lot on the line.
Ooh, tension.
Also, I think it's particularly impressive to have a win streak on Inferno. It's a map that everyone's really good at.
Yeah. There's a newer roster, too. You know, normally those things start happening once you've cemented yourself as a certain caliber, but look at Apex.
Look at Apex.
Slips right by.
Oh, yikes.
Auto catches that one single lurk, and Alex at the A site. NBK clears Esperanto immediately, so there's so much pressure on Nexa, but he has the element of surprise. Denied by NBK, and Apex ready to strike Hunter the moment he walks through the door.
That was pretty nice. That's my analysis.
Spot on.
Thank you.
This rotate over really has nothing to happen, but it is the 15th round, so why not throw the Hail Mary? You know, we talked about the retake on B not always being so easy, but when you have the double Molotov, the smoke can be thrown for banana, you burn out the back of the bomb site. It's really just Apex that needs to die in order for Valiance to make this happen. But he goes nowhere other than victory lane. 1 point the difference here as Vitality finish up the end of the half. Of course, the second half will be right back after this brief break. Folks, don't go too far. Here we are, folks, back with the second half of Valiance versus Vitality, the duel of the Vs. But who will soar higher in this second matchup? I mean, we had the pistol and the conversion fully for the side of Vitality. Then we had them finish off the half with 3 rounds in a row, but they've swapped over to the defensive side. Remember, this is their map pick with an incredible streak of wins thus far, so you still kind of have to give them the edge. Although Valiance, they've made surprises already happen here today, so why not another? Launders, I'm ready for these next 15 rounds.
Yeah, so am I. And it might not be 15, we'll see. That would be the most exciting possible version of the Counter-Strike we could watch. And we know more numbers is better.
Yeah, more and more. Bigger is better. And the kills come in quickly. ZywOo snaps one head, falls back, just dodges the player from Apps as his teammates arrive on the rotation. Apex into position, and ZywOo's still successful. He is filling up the kill feed till Letney shuts him down, but the damage is when dealt. I mean, Hunter, he could come off of the balcony to help the bomb site, or Letney just scuttlebutts his way behind the boxes and tries to prioritize plant, which he's done. He's a liability on such low health, but now he's gone. So it falls on Hunter in the after plant. No utility, but does have the Kevlar, and he's trying to dodge the shots till NBK lands one straight through the eyes, and Vitality take another pistol.
That's a big one. I don't remember, but did Vitality win both pistols on Train? I feel like they've just won like every pistol so far.
When were we on Train?
Wait, Train, Dust 2?
Mirage.
They played Dust 2 earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah, versus Optic.
I feel like they've won a lot of pistols today.
Yeah, I mean, in Optic's case, they lost the first pistol, but won the follow force buy. Then they won the second pistol in that half of that game. On Mirage, I couldn't tell you, Launders. I'm sorry to let you down.
Yeah, it's a big number. It's obviously the hit is lessened by the update, which I think it's nice. I like it. It's just, we move into the action faster. It feels like it adds some consistency to the best of ones, where you just have more rounds that are actual buy rounds. and your force in the beginning is less impactful. But it's still an important stat to some degree, and I think Vitality have come out ahead on a lot of these pistol rounds so far. They got ZywOo, man. Like, ZywOo was just doing so much damage that last round.
Yeah, he puts in work. Most certainly does. Here comes Esperanto rounding the corner to a blinded CT. Nice snapback, but NBK will get the kill thanks to the Flames ×2. It's a barbecue at B, and the rotations need to be here a little bit swifter. Can't stop the plant.
Really did take their time on that one. Didn't want to fall for any kind of fake and assume that their teammates would be able to hold in a situation where it was like some kind of eco QB sneak. If there was going to be any presence on B, an RPK could be the critical engagement hunter hugging this wall. Alex does get a kill, but this is just a personal bout between these two.
Ooh, and it's Hunter to get the best of him. ZywOo creeps and crawls his way forward, gives his backup, and a clean sweep after the fact. 2 survivors following the bomb plant. That's a great force up here from Valiance.
Yeah, great force up. Yeah, they win it straight out, and I don't actually understand how Vitality won the pistol, and then had. Do they have 2 players like with pistols on B, or what happened there?
No,
one of them only had a CZ, right?
Yeah, that's Valiance. Pretty sure. I don't know, Waters. I can't go back in time. Yeah, we had a Deagle for Nexa. Mac 10s and umps in the mix.
No, I mean, I'm talking about them defending on the site.
Oh.
It's like MBK, I think, jumped up with a CZ to try to kill them and then ended up dying. I don't know if he used all his bullets or not. I don't know. It was strange.
Listen, I blinked and I missed it. That's how fast Valiance wanted to get back into the action. I mean, they went in on that force buy. They used what they had to try and cut back this lead, and they did succeed so far. But there's pistols back up here for Vitality. They've got some grenades around this as well. Unfortunately for them, it's Esperanto with a swift 2K already. Bomb towards spawn. Obviously, Valiance, they're just going to take their time.
Yeah, definitely want to slow it down after, especially being a man up and kind of this early into the round. I don't know. Does Alex get that information? He's actually fallen back through the halls. So our boy MBK is about to get crunched. And Alex goes out right after the flash. It's actually going to lure him into the site. The flank might be fast enough, but Apex doesn't clear his angles properly.
No, he's just oblivious to the potential of that CT play. And I don't think that should have been too much of a surprise. Here comes Alex with that retrieved AK. Doesn't anticipate a second player. Just, you know, writing players off, assuming things are safe. That's how we see Vitality just throw what could have been an upset round. You know, Apex blindsided and Alex not anticipating a second.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what where their mind was at, if that bomb was just by itself, or there was a player who was going to eat that flash if he threw it, and then he was actually doing the safer thing, you know, in his mind. I mean, if you're ever going to pull out utility, it's probably because you're assuming you're making the safer decision. But you could definitely still be wrong. So, half armor on a couple. Vitality have stuff to work with. I like, you know, yeah, I really appreciate when the teams, no matter what, if they're going to save or invest a little, that they do try to prioritize smokes. ZywOo coming through with another Deagle kill. Seems like those are everlasting, never ending.
No, he's got dirty Deagles a dime a dozen.
Valiance making a hard rotate back. Stack was out for a moment. I don't think either site's that easy to take at the moment.
This is when everybody starts sweating.
Yeah.
Silence blankets.
It's starting to get sweaty.
The entire map. Nobody really knows what's going on. Valiance assuming, you know, they've got to clear all these corners. Pistoleros could be patched all across the map.
They're pretty spread out. I mean, jumping out halls is not that... It's kind of scary, man. I mean, look at this. They got ZywOo. He's like a crocodile in the pit.
Ready to chomp off
Chomp him up. Hungry hippo.
And RPK, well, he's just lurking underneath the water over in that bomb site. But, oh, the timing. The pin pulled is what cost ZywOo, and, well, RPK falls straight after. So what could have been a deadly setup falls absolutely flat. Like the earth.
I for one find round Earth theory compelling. So I would like to create a society, gain some recognition.
Launders, if I pointed out Auto earlier, I also feel like I need to point out RPK now.
You're singling people out.
Yep. Yep.
Now it's just a given. What's wrong with RPK?
When you have nothing insightful to say, you just blame somebody else.
Point fingers.
Right.
I like it.
It's just, you know, I mean, I don't know. It was, I thought...
Why do you hate RPK so much?
No, the thing is, I love RPK. I'm a fan. Okay, I think he's a great player.
See,
and
now you're pussyfooting.
I'm not. Don't you call me nothing. It's just sad to see him down there.
Down where?
The bottom of the scoreboard.
He only has 6 kills.
What are you doing, singling him out?
You're the one who made me realize that.
That was my point. So a rough start, you know, because I personally did say how this wouldn't be a one-man show versus Vitality. Earlier today, we saw everybody hitting their shots. I'd love to see him come back into this map. I think that could be a real difference maker, seeing as we are toe-to-toe, round-to-round, in the nitty-gritty, Launders. I just want to see the man succeed.
You're such a good person.
Try not to laugh.
Flash comes out. MBK pushes through the smoke. He's got another player pushing with him. That's RBK to get killed. The other 3-letter name on the team. And the third person, for that matter, also gets killed. 5 players alive for Valiance. They're looking good right now.
Yeah, they're really not falling victim to these kinds of pistol buys.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that's always really nice when you have these up-and-coming teams. It's like if you're going to create upsets, you have to minimize mistakes. And you'd think that a roster filled with such experienced players like Vitality, like they're going to maximize the punishment they give you based on those mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you don't make them, you're not giving them the window of opportunity to really bounce back. And that's something nice to see from Valiance. It's not only are they competent and capable in the even gun rounds, but they really exert their forces when they have an advantage to work with.
They look nice, especially in the 2v2 and 3v3. I still have like reservations when it comes to their kind of set strategies and stuff. Just looks not just simplistic, but sometimes predictable, I want to say.
Right.
But that's from my perspective. Obviously, I'm not in the server. They might be doing a better job guising their executes and plays better than I can tell, but I think where their skill really shines is when they can, you know, Apex can make a play, you know, to recover the bomb, and they can like mid-round to B and find a way into CT spawn without anybody knowing, and that like they've done that a few times here on Inferno as well as Mirage. Those plays are fun to watch, and I think that's when they can get really. That's when they can go full art attack.
Yeah,
you know, they can just express their creativity.
I think the best showcase of those mid-round calls and kind of, you know, even situations, it was really apparent on Dust 2 versus Optic this morning.
Yeah.
That's when it was, I think, the best sample of what you're saying.
This is interesting. So Hunter is playing at the end of halls, which is kind of like Squeaky on Cash. Sit here by himself, can't get killed. Full BXQ comes in. He's out for a lurk.
Yeah.
The hold is strong, though.
Very much so. Instant swift headshots, and RPK even finds another at the A site, so that solo A-lurk does not pan out. However, Otto and Nexa are going to try to claw and clamor their way back into the 21st round. With a bomb plant and a kill apiece, they've established themselves in a 2 versus 3 here on the B bomb site. But they lost that A-lurk, so Banana very susceptible to the push. They're going to make the play. They're going to boost over. ZywOo rattling off a shot, reveals himself. The flashbang's there, but Otto picks up the kill. It's even for only a moment. Nexa, now he needs to come up big, and he's denied by ZywOo. That right there is double digits for both of these teams.
Wow, everyone whiffed, but it was a team ace for Vitality, so most people... Everybody contributed, but there was a lot of whiffs there towards the end. It made it seem like it could have been competitive and in favor of Valiance. Wasn't the case. Valiance won, or Valiance, sorry, Valiance lost. Sorry, folks, getting a bit late, getting a bit loopy. I'm trying to hold it together here, but overall strong round. They get the defuse. Valiance do collect some money, which is good. It's going to fund their expensive CT habits of getting that extra Molotov, extra HE on the round. They can really make it tactical, and everybody knows what to do with them on Inferno. Hunter moving out and pushing MBK into a pretty tough spot. crouched, so more of his body was being shown. Apex, as the backup plan, also gets killed. Entries are strong. This streak could come to an end.
Right now.
Right here and now.
Because Hunter, I mean, he was so advancing on Apex. Every single time Apex is trying to get a grenade off, he would get chipped down, HP after HP, because Hunter was consistent in the chase. Then finally he dies, bomb plant follows suit, and they'll be lucky if all 3 players save, because you know Esperanto's going to hunt them. Ooh, he's been spotted. Maybe setting up Nexa to get these kills instead. Yep.
Yeah, these are critical, eh? The after plants, the exit frags. Alex wins his duel. But, I mean, all that matters is they live. It doesn't really matter how many more kills they get, so. Oh, the flash is good. Oh my god, Alex, does he die too? It looks like he will. That was a fantastic chase down by Valiance. Looking around like that, you're like, well, guess they could have retaken it.
Yeah.
They could have tried, yeah.
100%.
They gotta be feeling good.
Yeah, you know it. I mean, look at the response emotionally. Like, that's a big clearing of the economy. You take a look at the cash for the side of Vitality. Apex with 3,500. Nobody else breaks 3K. So that right there is a save, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, they'll have to hold this L. Do they have any money? Apex has enough to drop a couple of pistols, but it won't be, I don't even know if they'll be able to buy next round. That is a tough position to be in. And they want to try to keep the money low, but at this point, Valiance are stacking it up too. This could be their map. That'd be a pretty big stamp for them. I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty newsworthy.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, you could argue pretty much Valiance through and through. I mean, Vitality, they get the first 3 rounds of the first half, pistol and conversions, and then they slip away with the last 3 rounds of the first half. From that point onwards, there's only been 4 rounds outside of it. So, you know, in the core chunk of this gameplay, it's just been Valiance over and over and over again. But they've lost a member early here in the 23rd round, Letney.
This is crazy. They've got 3 at Arch. Moto will get smoked out, so they do want to have like players in the site, excuse me.
And I just talked about how Valiance were really good at surviving these sorts of rounds. They're just going to go for the all-in, straight out from the apps. These pistols, outgunned most certainly, but not outnumbered. From the corner comes the strike, and just like that, it is goodnight. The bomb has fallen, but Esperanto stands. Remember, no armor on the 3 remaining players. He could do this, but it's going to have to be clean and swift, and the spray's not that. Vitality with a robbery.
Okay, now let's get a Vitality cam to see if they're still laughing. I think, because I don't know if we can get it, but we should.
You know, Valiance cam?
Yeah. Is that what I said?
No, you said Vitality.
Damn it.
And that's what you got. You got a screen full of Frenchmen.
Yeah, not so pleased anymore. That was a pivotal moment, right? That was a free eco to get 13-10, and they would probably have to save again, but instead, Vitality ecoed. They saved some money. They have a full buy now. It's 12-11. And Valiance are pissed.
Yep. And their any reset bonus is completely off-kiltered, right? That's the reset for reset.
And that was a really nice eco.
Yes.
They got the 1 kill and immediately hauled ass to A site. You know, just immediately. Didn't leave a single person in B. Like, that's it. They said we're going to full stack it, and they were right that they needed to do it quickly, and they needed to do it with 5 people. There was no fake that came out of B, no lurker that came out of B. They called it 100%.
Oh, Otto's got to be careful. That up close. NBK takes way too long on the spray, but RPK is there to trade straight into the 3v3. Nexa, however, has crept his way out of the balcony, and Apex does not seem to know.
Does he? No.
Oh, he's just going to try to hide because he has no... I mean, he has an idea as to that could be a threat, but doesn't know if it's true or not. Oh, so he just doesn't want to be found. And Esperanto sniffs him out. RPK can't deny the bomb plant. The pit control's already there for Valiance. I mean, this could be a back-and-forth round win that destroys Vitality's chances. Sure enough. Letney is the nail in the coffin. Zywoo is gone.
Damn.
Vitality without vitals.
All right, let's get a Vitality cam after this. And see, they're going to be pissed.
I mean, that was a huge opportunity, a big opening back into the game for them. And I feel it's like if ZywOo can survive with that $4,000 and an op, he can drop a weapon around, and BK could buy happily, but it's like, I feel as though Vitality will continue to force, even though it's going to come with limitations.
You think that they'll continue to force? Yeah, that's a tough one. They have one rebuy. Oh no, they got to buy, dude. They got an op.
Yep, they have to buy around this. I mean, if not, you're giving up the 14th round of Valiance as well. You could opt not to buy.
You could try to save the op for next round and buy with the money they have left over. But it's... I'm buying.
You're buying?
I'm buying.
All right. Well, let's see if they take your advice, Mohan.
Come on, they're French. They should buy here.
I mean, the fact that they've taken a tactical timeout at this moment just makes me feel as though they are kind of mulling it over. You know, you want to calculate it down to the nitty-gritty.
They're not talking about how they're going to spend their money. They're talking about whether or not... Oh, no, they're not talking about whether or not they'll spend their money. They're talking about how they'll spend their money. There it is. There it is. Come on, indulge. Treat yourself.
Ah, c'est là.
Perfect. How much... MBK's actually still got a bit in the bank. Okay, he gets the FAMAs.
Nice amount of utility. I like that.
French gun, by the way.
Yep. This is true. Quick play up from Esperanto. Banked Molotov off the skybox. And grenades go both ways. This is going to isolate Apex into the corner. He has no support other than the man just behind him. There's nobody on the bomb site, Mohan. Deep frags, that could be great. Oh, Letney to 2-3 HP. That's it.
I can't believe he even survived. I don't even know if Apex clears this. Whoa, is he going to die? Holy smokes. He's getting tagged by his own teammate. He's totally confused. Letney jumps. Does Apex hear that? And he, oh my god, his teammate dies at the top of Banana. But with Banana secured, I think that's all that matters.
Man, that's a clincher and a half on that one.
My goodness.
Apex will get away in the end. But RPK is still left weaponless. However, Valiance have been corralled over towards the A site. Remember what happened last time Vitality had a bare bones buy. This is all they needed. That immediate Banana control was enough to convince Valiance into the opposite side of the map, and that has happened again. Hunter seeks the angle, and oh, ZywOo's going to give it to him right through the side of the box. Hunter tries to fly forward, nails another headshot, and RPK can trade sure enough. But with just the P250, what more do you want from him? It's Apex alone on the other side of the map as Valiance surely secure 14.
Dude, the true strength of this team is that they can just have different players light up the server on any given round.
Look at this back and forth between round 20 to round 25. This is finally the first time we have 2 consecutive round wins.
That is so nasty.
Heartbreaking.
Hunter gets in there. That is beautiful. I mean, if they take this map, that's 14-1.
And we're going to Dust 2.
And we're going to Dust 2.
Gonna have to dust off the old dusty trail. See, 2 dusts. Get it?
Is that on the road to Choo Choo Town?
Yeah, halfway there. Bomb explosion secures 14. But... I mean, listen, I'll look for the silver lining, Launders. We have had Vitality do more with less.
But only with less.
But only once.
Only once with less, and then they lost.
Right after.
Right after.
With more. So maybe there is no consistency here, but that to me is the tragedy. You know, Hunter's positioned perfectly. He's patient. He's waiting for somebody to just step into that very slight smidgen of a gap, and sure enough, ZywOo gifts it to him.
How's that a tragedy?
For ZywOo and Vitality.
Oh, okay. I usually say, like, it's tragic if it was, like, shouldn't have happened, you know?
Oh, sorry. I just meant if it's, you know, heartbreaking. And in this case, specifically for them, Valiance will take it any day of the week. Finally doubling up, round after round. The force buy comes in from Vitality, of course. Their backs are against the wall. What a killer T-side here from the predominantly Serbian side.
4-4. You're definitely nervous if you're Valiance. Vitality brought it back on Mirage. This was a map that Valiance looked like they were about to finish off, and Vitality came through, brought it to OT, and then crushed in OT. I mean, who knows how many kills I will get if we go to round 30.
It's an average of 3 outside of regulation.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, run, run.
Wow. That they did 2 damage to his 4 health.
Oh. NBK gets the dink but can't follow suit with further damage. That's going to draw RPK back into the equation for sure. Unfortunately for him, it's the fully healthed players that start to round the corners. He's managing himself 1 kill at least, but it's Otto and Nexa to follow suit. That's the A site crumbled beneath the feet of Valiance, and it all falls on to Alex.
One-on-3 situation. Player in small pit, one in the graveyard, and one right behind him at Arch.
Right, actively lurking for the frag. Not giving him any room to work with. No openings, no chances, no further rounds. They want to put a fork in it and call this one done. But that 16th round not yet won. They'll need another.
Yeah, they Hail Married there. They spent all their money to try to win, even though they didn't have enough. So now they have even less hope. This on Dust 2, man, I have no idea who wins. I feel like Valiance probably wins.
Yeah? You feeling that now?
I really didn't like, I'm going to say I didn't really like Vitality's Dust 2.
Okay. Ooh, all right.
Wasn't a big fan.
It's fighting words.
A little bit. Not a big fan. But I don't know if that's a map they really like, so I'm not trying to call out their map pool.
It's a map they at least let slide through twice today.
Now you're making it seem like I'm calling them out. Oh, I only saw them play it once.
We'll revisit your opinion 10 rounds into Dust 2. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that. And let's see if this is it. Could be finished in the 27th on Inferno. Vitality with a haphazard buy, 3 SMGs, some tidbits of utility, not a single kit to try and retake with, and Valiance charge up Banana just to come to a grinding stop. They'll wait, they'll halt, and they'll hold their horses. Some utility back and forth, extinguishing the flames, throwing Apex amidst the smokes. 5-7 versus MAC-10 and AK. That's not a spam fight I'd take. And Apex knows better too. MBK doubles back in order to be boosted.
Yeah, they get the silent boost off.
Apex opts not to head towards coffins. Instead, he'll hold here on this very same angle.
They actually haven't used this boost. I think that's one thing that we haven't seen from them on their CT side. Teams abuse this boost constantly, so there's a chance that Valiance don't even clear this. We'll see.
It is NBK up there with just that CZ. So many players ready to roll. Hunter immediately clears it. Not going to happen at all. The B site destroyed. Valiance charge straight forward, and they may not even give up a single kill. It's just those SMGs. Saiwu desperately, now the last man up, and Nexa has his number. 16-11 here on map 2. The 15-0 streak is crushed and cut down. 14 is all they get, Launders.
Yeah.
15 would have looked better, but it's just not in the cards.
That's two things they've done today. They stopped the they stopped the giant win streak on Inferno from Valiance. They also beat Mousesports on Mirage on LAN.
Yeah, those are huge accomplishments in and of itself. So this is a team to be reckoned with, folks. We're going to be heading over to map 3, but not before we head over to the gentleman on the analyst desk.
That's right, Scrawny. You are absolutely correct. Got one more map in the pipes for you all, but before we get there, we need to make some sense of everything that just went down on Inferno. And to do that, we brought in two guys that know exactly what they're talking about at all times of the day. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It's going to be Natu and Sponge.
Doesn't even matter what topic it is.
Doesn't even matter what topic it is. We can talk about Finnish politics. We could talk about, I don't know what you would talk about, Chad. You're kind of like geographically confused. So.
Kangaroos, probably.
Yep.
And still?
Yeah, something about living in the Upside Down, which is exactly what we just saw. An Upside Down second half, and it really wasn't that strong of a showing, at least on the CT side for Vitality.
The fact they couldn't string multiple rounds together is a real issue right on that CT side when utility is such a big part of being able to get banana control, being able to fend off those attacks. So impressive on the side of Valiance to be able to crack open bomb sites in the fashion they were doing it, because they didn't do anything super special, right? They had a player walk into a position and grab some multi-kills, and then the bomb site was open for business. It felt time and time again that the Vitality guys were unable to get a read to stack the sites. There was always two players having to be forced into retakes, and that would have been very frustrating, but they managed to still grab the two pistols, so that stays with the stat line.
I got that. I mean, got that in there.
Listen, second half you get 3 rounds. One of them is pistol round. One of them is it's an eco round where, you know, Valiance kind of bottled it up. Traditionally, you go quad in an anti-eco round. You shouldn't really be doing that, especially if you you just don't commit to 100%. So yeah, definitely a lot of work to do for Vitality here.
I think if we continue the theme that we had in the first map where we were talking about Valiance and their T side where they're able to kind of just do the aggressive moves and then find multi-kills, similar scenes here, but I didn't think they'd be able to do it to the same level, right? Inferno is a lot more bottlenecks, right? It's a lot more tighter choke points. The fact that they could still walk out and find those multi-kills is very impressive. That attests to the individual skill that this team is working with.
Yeah, and it helps a lot though when you manage to put a CT in a position where they can't string those rounds together, so you get much more map control when there's no mollies or smokes in the play all the time to block off from Banana, for example.
Well, Chad, I know you're a fan of these real tight choke points, but I guess in this one it was Natu and company over there on the side of the Finns that really did put the choking down, and actually will be moving down, moving up in the brackets. So it will be Ints that did find success over on the B stream. Since we didn't get an interview from them, and before we go to a break, anything you want to say on their behalf?
I mean, they wanted that rematch. They lost against Vindigo in the close qualifier stage of the minors, so they definitely came in with the vengeance and showcasing that they feel like they're the better team.
And I said this to you behind closed doors, but it's still quite a fun fact that Ents are only 4 maps away now from making the majors, so not that many games, and they've definitely been the most impressive team we've seen today in both minors so far.
Both from a rudimentary standpoint, a fundamental standpoint, and most importantly, the easy standpoint, which is the standpoint that we're going to be taking as we go into the third map of our series. It's going to be Dust 2 when we come back, so make sure you're here with us. We're going to start to walk you into it.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
All eyes are on you, so give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to ask you to put your tray tables and seat backs in the upright and lock position and get ready for takeoff as we look forward into Dust 2. It's time to kick off the third map of this installment, the first best of 3 of the EU Minor. My name is Trey Saranthus, and I'm going to walk you right into that bad boy. But first, I'm going to let these guys do a little bit of talking, and these guys, you might know them as Natu and Sponge, hailing from Finland and Australia. Quite a ways from home, one of you more so than the other. But both of these teams not trying to go home any earlier than possible.
I wouldn't want to go home. I would want to stay and really enjoy the weather.
And you will.
Yeah, before we get into the analysis, can we just work this out? With Scrawny and Launders, are they going to be Scraunders?
Scrawndog.
Or Laurie? Like Mike... No, that's from
Mike Lowry. You're talking Mike Lowry.
that's the one.
Bad Boys.
I was watching that the other night. That's why it was in my head. Which one do you reckon?
First
one?
I think, it has to be the first one. The second one didn't really land.
Yeah, it didn't land. I missed it. I fluffed it a bit there.
Well, we're going to fluff our way through to Dust 2. What do you guys think? What about Dust 2 here? Do we need to be on the lookout for? Because now we have an even slate. Now we've got a best of one, basically. Yep. All over again. It's all even.
And on the map like Dust 2, I think that's really a good ground for us to conclude this series, honestly. I mean, we saw Vitality play earlier today against Optic on Dust 2, and they were looking okay, but I think they had a bit of a slower start, and feels like they're trying to play a really, quite a basic Dust 2, taking a lot of short control, trying to take long when they have the spawns, and then run down the clock and then do a setup piece, basically, to the bomb site. Or do the French thing, which is just ramming to the bomb site. That happens too. And with this kind of individual skill, it's also a scary prospect, as we saw in that matchup. Even if you had 2 guys on the CT side holding an angle, watching the tunnel, they would still get those 2 entries coming in. So those are crazy, pretty scary prospects. On the other hand, though, now they're going to be playing against a side which will be far more aggressive, I feel like. I think they need to be much more ready for the early part of the round to fight middle a little bit more, maybe get contested while they're trying to take that catwalk control, for example. So I feel like that's going to be a very different dynamic in terms of how this game is going to be compared to the first time.
Yeah, inherently this map plays very Broly style, right? And the fact that we have seen throughout this series so far the players on Valiance show that individual brilliance means that now this is blown wide open. I thought this was going to be a 2-0. Right now, this is anyone's game, and I think Valiance are definitely in with a shot here, Trace.
So you're saying that there's a chance that Valiance...
An opportunity.
But what are you really saying in terms of who's going to win? Because it's just about time to live it.
I'm just going to go with 50-50 straight down the middle.
Outstanding. Thank you, Chad. Anything you want to add to that, Natu?
I think Vitality is still going to take it.
See, at least we have one decisive man in this triumvirate here. Either way, it's time for us to send it down to the commentators. We had a debate about what we would call them, and it's definitely not going to be Mike Lowry, and it's not going to be Scrondly Dew or something along those lines. I'm thinking Scrawny and Launders. Guys, take us into this third map.
Scrawny and Launders sounds about right. I mean, a lot of people fall into the Scraunders trap, but what they forget to realize is that this duo is about you, so I can't come first, right? That's what you told me.
Laundry is the other option.
Right, but then all you're doing is including my Y.
I'm like, no, listen, you're like it's starting to backfire a little bit. I feel like I like Laurie as well.
Yeah, Mike
It's
Lowry.
kind of it's very 2019.
Very much so.
So
2009 versus 2019.
Yeah.
Bad Boys 3 is in production, by the way, as of this week. And NBK's PC has crashed for the 3rd time. So guess what, Launders? We're going to stand here and look real pretty.
What's wait, Bad Boys with
Bad Boys 3 with Will Smith. Coming back in production, live this week. Started filming this week, I'm pretty sure.
He's the second best Scientologist.
Will Smith's a Scientologist?
Yeah.
No.
You know who the first best Scientologist is?
Tom Cruise?
Yes, hell yeah.
Of course, right. I love Will Smith because, I mean, let's think of this guy, right? You're talking about a rapper. You can go back and listen to some of this man's rap.
Switch.
Right? Big time stuff.
Yeah.
Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a classic. This is a guy who also went from being about my size to being ripped in movies like iRobot.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him in I Am Legend?
I Am Legend.
No, so he can do humor.
That's
he could do thrillers. He could do horror.
It's one of the only movies I cried in. Yeah, there's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Sure. Wild Wild West?
Wild Wild West.
Oh, man.
Classic, yes.
Oh.
And, of course, Bad Boys. And
Bad Boys, right. And the 3rd one's in production. That's how we got here.
Men in Black.
He's no longer in Men in Black.
No, I know, but that's, you know.
So Men in Black's not the same. We can't use that.
Okay. Men in Black's canceled.
We've really gotten lucky, Launders, with being left out to dry today in these kinds of tech pauses.
How's that?
I mean, we had the game is ready, and then it wasn't ready, and then we had to talk for a bit.
Lucky in the sense that if you say something's lucky, it doesn't define whether it's unlucky or good lucky?
No, I guess unlucky would have been the right word, but I'm trying to put a positive spin.
Wow, you're such a positive dude.
Yeah, optimism, optometrism.
Yeah, you see eyes. You understand eyes.
I do. It's only been 12 hours. But this is the last map of our day. So, you know what? I'm down with going the distance, okay? We had a 19-15 scoreline for Vitality's victory on Mirage. That's a game that, now that I think about it, this series could have gone 2-0 to Valiance.
When you got on the bike this morning, what did you do?
On the bike, I set the time to 18 minutes on the bike and did a 2-minute cooldown after. But I did 2 minutes of like 20% energy and then 1 minute of 100% energy.
Yeah.
So you get that I had an average heart rate of 170 over an 18-minute workout.
And at the end, you did a little extra.
Yeah, you know, a little 2-minute cooldown.
That's what this is, baby.
Right. All right.
A little extra.
This is the cooldown.
It's the cooldown. We turn up, though.
Yeah.
We're turning up for the cooldown.
Here we go, folks. It's ready. Action-packed. Mathieu, Cedric, Dan, Alex, and Nathan Schmidt on the side of Vitality.
And you didn't even have tough time to read the other ones.
Nor could I pronounce them. I'm not going to lie.
You did us a favor. I liked the rock music, though.
I did as well. It kind of pumped me full of...
That's the first time that they've used that.
Yeah. I mean, just wait to see what we have in store. You know, it's got to be an upward trajectory in terms of performance and production, and maybe that's what we're going to get from Valiance as well. Will this be the clean sweep or another close affair? So far, not working out here for the predominantly Serbian side. They are done for, toasted, roasted, forked, and sporked. It's only Alex down here in the pistol.
Little redundant there at the end, the forked and sporked. I mean, if you have a spork, you don't need the fork, but whatever.
Right. I just like to dual wield.
You could dual wield sporks.
Akimbo.
You could akimbo sporks.
All right, I'm gonna bring it back down for a bit.
You could just do a fork and a spoon, and then the only thing with a spork is it just doesn't it's not cool.
I mean, sporks what you get on airplanes.
Usually a spork is plastic. It's disposable. You get it with fast food. Use it to save space. You throw it out, it has less garbage. But it's kind of lame, right? It's a spork.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's still stupid.
You're the spork of esports.
Okay. I'm surprised Sporky.
Let's just stop. Okay.
All right.
Esperanto has a scout. The rest of the players have pistols, and there is a selection of utilities surrounding those pistols here in the second round.
You're going to need to bring the energy up a little bit.
All right, I'll find the middle ground.
Okay.
They find a little bit of footing out middle. I'm all for that. We got that Colonel defense of Vitality up into the B bomb site. Very split, but still proactive as Vitality check out long.
And the B split is on. They don't have the tunnels split part of it, however. Now they fall back. Ooh. And they've left one of their teammates in a very precarious spot. I mean, he is so totally exposed to window, so maybe this goes extremely well. Or maybe we don't hear from Otto after this round. Let's see.
Yeah, they've just put him alone so he can't team kill. But Zai was going to drop that bomb as it tries to join him out mid. It's nice to see Otto getting the entry, but he turns his back to the killer.
You know what? He had a good thing going, and a player would have had a peak window to deal with him from that position. But the rest of his teammates weren't in a great spot to help him split, and they've gotten so spread out at this point that it's actually worked in their favor, folks. They are now working into B through tunnels.
Don't try to understand it.
I've totally thrown Vitality through a loop. That's a good spam.
Yeah, nicely done. And nobody's picked up that bomb, so MBK charges straight through off the flash. Fantastic play from Nathan Schmidt. That's Vitality's second in a row.
That was wonderful. That was good. The counter flash was there, but they were so proactive. They were so decisive. They were so immediate and deliberate that they got in the door as the flash was going out, and both players in the crossfire were blind. Beautiful stuff.
Fully blind. Fully blind indeed. So now here is the unfortunate circumstance for Valiance. It's the old pistol save. They'll splurge on a couple of P250s and even a double D. But Alex, we saw him doing this a lot versus Optic, that consistent mid to lower play. So if there's nobody spotting middle for Valiance, this is going to be a continuous issue.
I love it. I love it. Get really aggressive on these rounds. Lower tunnels in general, such a good place to push. So nice to double push upper tunnels. Love that. That's one part about the CT side of Vitality that I really enjoyed, was that they tried to abuse tunnels more than once. I haven't seen Valiance play Dust 2 just yet, so a lot for me to learn about how comfortable they're going to be on the map. We've got a simple setup right now. It's not the greatest guns, but they've got long control. They got their way up Cat. There's 2 players at A. This is kind of what they would like to deal with. ZywOo's got an M4, and RPK's only got a FAMAS. And, you know, if you have a FAMAS, you have a high chance of dying.
It's not too high of a hurdle for Valiance to try to leap over, but his position has an element of surprise, and it's for that reason he nets himself 1. Esperanto, dirty Deagle. And now it's the 2-man push-up from Catwalk that tries to best RPK, but he's the tank.
Okay.
Keeps his FAMAS on a swivel, holds his feet to the ground, and just locks it all down. 3 kills for him and a solid hold on the A site.
That was actually really nice with the FAMAS.
Yeah.
It's very good recoil control.
Oh, yeah.
We could all learn a thing or two. I think even though the FAMAS spray is difficult,
yep, it's
still somewhat tight.
Yeah.
It's just a really strange, it's a super strange spray.
It takes practice. It's a weapon that takes that practice.
8,000 hours, I can't spray a FAMAS.
Chump.
Okay. It's looking for support. All right.
And call your mama.
Okay, Jesus. It's getting way too real. Molly goes down in front of the doors. Spam, not gonna join it. It's actually kind of hard to bank that Molly hard enough that it goes deep, and there, it didn't go deep. We'll try again with a new piece of utility. We'll try again with a new piece of utility. Bang.
Very spread setup here from Valiance. All the map control they can take for free they have.
Yeah, Cat being the easiest, that is not always free.
Correct.
That's why teams go here first a lot of the time. A lot of times your default on Dust 2 is 2 players going into tunnels, 1 to top mid to flash for Cat, and then players jumping from mid to Xbox to Cat to clear it out. And then if you're going to be in an A sped up, you go back to long, or you take long at the beginning round and go back to Cat. It's a very, very simple map in that regard.
Flashes go high. CTs sitting on the ramp and behind the boxes. They're luring them in, just wanting to spring the trap. Like a jack of the box, they pop right over the top. It is NBK to continue the spray, but Otto nearly gets away. Still, he is denied, and Nexa nowhere to be found as he's the last man up in a 1v4. His corpse hits the floor, and Vitality sit on 4 to the 0 of Valiance.
There was no last rhyme there, was there?
No, I was done.
Looking for it, though. I thought you were going to have it. But I like the setup a lot on the A site, where the only thing is that MBK's in a spot that can typically get mollied out, especially if you're going to take Cat. You just bounce the pizza nade, and then he's mollied out. But because they didn't throw it, he was fine, and he had a setup where RPK was right behind him. A double peek from that position looked terrifying. That's actually super hard to deal with, especially if you're crossing elbow. You really want to focus on one target. You're switching between the sight box, the ramp, and long, and those are all scary things. So to have 2 of those 3 things pop out at you at once, that'll leave a mark.
I'm afraid of these Deagles, I'm not going to lie. We've seen what Esperanto can do. I'd put Hunter up there if he's anything like his cousin. And Nexa's dead, so he won't be doing much. RPK can't hold that door entirely. They've actually been able to slip right out. And sure enough, they'll combine forces to drop him. ZywOo still has support over the shoulder. That's Alex, who moves 1 foot closer towards the catwalk. Wicker Basket's not the best of cover, but he'll try to make it work.
Yeah, that's a really solid smoke on both sides. And the rotate's coming in hot at the moment.
Oh, that's an easy read. He knows there's 2 players here now. So the only question is, where is Hunter off to? He's got the answer, and now they'll just swarm the last remaining member.
Yep, Otto's an easy feed. And they shut it down. Not too difficult. It wasn't, I mean, it was just pistols, so that's all that matters. 5-0 for Vitality, however.
Really flying out the gate. There's a really good article from HLTV about the meta changes, and they did an analysis on the usage of AUGs and SGs, but also an analysis of the conversion rate from pistol wins, because Valve's goal was to make the pistol less impactful. And I believe winning a pistol and converting into a 5-0 start actually dropped something like 20%. So to get a pistol and get a 5-0 nowadays is actually quite rare, or substantially rarer than it once was.
Okay, cool.
Go look that up.
That's a good stat.
Read a little.
I like that. Yeah, get educated.
I mean, HLTV are our saviors, man. They these guys put in work.
Yeah. What the hell is Counter-Strike with the HLTV?
Just a game. You know?
Yeah.
With them, it's a lifestyle.
It's just a game for kids. And we know none of these guys are kids.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, I guess he's a kid. He's a big kid.
Aren't we all auditors?
RPK, and the K stands for kidden.
He doesn't want anything more. He got, you know, he bit off too much to chew in the previous round when he got rocked by those deagles.
I don't like what the setup becomes when he falls back to car.
No?
His teammate on the A site is now not in a safe spot to watch Cat. He has to sit here, which is easily Molotovable, or he can go back to Goose and not be of any assistance to his teammates at car. So RPK stands there, spots long, and now moves back to car and can only watch Cat. Zai was already doing that.
Right. And then you have this fourth player move over because they feel as though the threat looms near. And it's a ruse.
Yeah.
It's actually just the all-in on the B site. NBK from behind the car. The spacing plays off to his favor. He's looking for a 4-piece, but the damage is still substantial. 24 health combined is an easy pickup for Apex.
90 damage on those last two players as well. That's pretty amazing. What
beautiful.
A hold.
When all the pressure's put on his shoulders, he still stands tall.
Absolutely magnificent. How rare is the 6-0?
That I don't know.
Okay. It's probably like ho-oh rare.
Shiny ho-ohs.
Hollow ho-ohs.
You're funny sometimes.
They hit an Xbox smoke. They hit it. I remember they missed it the last time. So this is to feign presence on Cat.
Right, and the thing is here too is once you've thrown that smoke out towards the box, like you have no smoke for the CT cross, so you're pretty much funneled up Catwalk, in my opinion.
Molly out, one flash remaining. Zaiwu makes a free frag, and that was their one smoke.
That's what I'm saying.
So they're pretty much funneled up Cat. It's the only way that they can get out and have their backs against the wall. I mean, they could at B, but you still have to clear close left, to clear a fence.
And this one, I feel like, you know, a Cat push as a cohort combined to the B push excuse me. It's a bit more of a Hail Mary over here on this side of the map. You got NBK and Apex, and they're ready to go. I mean, if NBK can hold you alone 1v4, then him and Apex, no problem. Just those deagles dispatched of, and this is a clean sweep of a start. We are catching up on the schedule pretty swiftly.
The rule of 7-0 that it always becomes 7-1. Brazil memes always deliver.
They always find their way.
It happens every game.
Well, you want to hedge your bets? What do you got on this?
I will bet your life.
Oh my god. I don't think that's yours to bet. I mean, it's about you, but Jesus.
I'm willing to bet your life that Valiance will win this round.
See, now I'm curious, because if you're willing to bet my life, I'd like to know the monetary value of that. Like, my life or X amount of your money.
I couldn't put a value on your life.
Or you just don't want to tell me.
I'm just very confident.
Right. Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
Watch, I'm going to show you. All right.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
On control. It's the perfect thing to do.
And
Otto's going to come out for this pick.
Ooh.
He did his best, you know. It's fine. The round moves along. And he's still in a pretty good spot. They trade for cat control. The CT setup was fishy at one point. Zaiwu just gets flashed off this angle. Nexa comes out for one kill, but Zaiwu's too damn good.
Yeah, I feel like this is just lackluster utility on a push like that. There were still smokes and Molotovs to be had, and I understand the faster pace they're trying to set, but look at the way these bodies have just piled up, one after another. All three of those deaths from Valiance have happened after this corner. Surely there was a better way to approach this attempt.
Yeah, there could have been. if they put enough pressure on long control, then ZywOo can't stand at Markelov, right? He can't opt across from that angle because it's unsafe, or he has to go and retake long or something or the other. But instead, they sent the op out to go for a pick. The op wasn't successful, and then they still went ahead with the rest of their strategy.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how we avoided the meme.
Yeah, I feel like it would have definitely been a different story had Otto been able to grab that first kill. He had the opportunity, just couldn't with the fire at his feet and the smoke in his face.
Yeah, and that's good on Vitality, and that's why long control is so critical as your CT. If you can get it, so then you don't have to worry as much about Cat.
Another opening pick goes the way of Vitality.
It's pretty big too, playing spawns.
5v4 straight out the door, and NBK is down. There goes Apex. Finally, Valiance able to get themselves a slick entry into B. And the rotations are so far away as well. I mean, you just try to get some exits and bank in on the fact that Vitality have all this cash. You know, give them a round, make it costly, and hit them with the reset.
X is on the prowl.
Ooh, but I think he heard RPK.
Yeah. Oh, that's an easy kill. There it is. Make it a headshot, why not? Hunting down these players will count for something, but Valiance need to stay alive. They need to put the 2 in a row on the board. Very fortunate to have won that round with 4 players alive, considering they lost the opening kill on the other side of the map, and they got a double entry on B. They did surprise Vitality. Vitality had, it was either, I think, Apex or MBK, jumped up on Big Box to spot into the tunnel. And I mean, he was about 2 seconds away from being able to fall behind Big Box and be totally safe, but instead ate a flash, was caught standing up in the open. I'm sorry for betting your life.
Yeah.
Getting tweets now.
Thank you for taking my defense, folks.
This is why I do this. Well, I still gamble in real life, but this is why I shouldn't.
You say bowl?
Gamble.
Gamble.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I went to Macau with you. I saw it live.
It was short, but it was exciting.
Yeah, excitingly disappointing. Quick little pause comes to a conclusion. You were 1 round off, so I feel like, you know, you saved me from the jaws of death.
You can't really spell Brazil with a 7 and a 1, with an 8 and a 1, though.
No, it's true.
That's not even where the meme comes from. It's just the score. But yeah, either way, I don't know. I appreciate you trying to save your own life.
I mean, someone's got to stand up for me.
Here's the flash for them to clear Cat. The most traditional Dust 2 flash ever. Mid, will it be cleared out? Alex is here spotting with a rifle, which I personally, you know, there is room for an op at mid doors, and there's lots of setups where it's viable, but the rifle can be more useful too, because sometimes if you think it's going to be a B split, for example, you'd probably rather have your rifle support as a player at the mid B, and also can easily rotate back to A. And also, if you're in a 2-1-2, you would like to have enough support at A, and that can come in the form of an op, as opposed to a rifle, without having to worry about rotates.
Oh, timing. Esperanto lucky to be alive, but his smoke's been flubbed. And then Alex gets the immediate duel versus Nexa here on mid. This does open up Catwalk for the push, but ZywOo's ready.
How'd that miss?
I'm not sure. A second shot also misses the mark, and the flashbang bounces back into his face. So they're going to have to give up this plant, and then the Catwalk after plant comes into the equation. But Alex has come into the bomb site silently, stealthily, sneaking his way up ramp. That's an easy kill versus Hunter. And then the peek off of Otto will trade it back. So at least Valiance on damage control. However, the trade's still into fruition to the favor of Vitality. It's Esperanto and LUCKEY versus 4. LUCKEY in the deep corner, cleared. Esperanto in no man's land. I mean, the bomb is planted fully for him, but yeah. I guess he wants those gun duels.
The smoke.
And he'll take the death instead.
No, there's a smoke right behind him, so he couldn't even fall back. It was just a really good smoke by the CTs. Like, there's just nothing they could do. They needed to peek off of something for the elbow guy, but that was the last angle they had to clear. So elbow guy's got to get tricky and either peek dry at an off timing when he feels like someone's charging towards him, or off the flash that they have to try to double peek and win the round. It's kind of a Hail Mary, but Vitality had won the round at that point already.
And I mean, that's what we call the French guillotine because, you know, 8-1, 9-1, instant hard reset. They're going to buy in with everything they can, but look at the cash left in the coffers. $500 for Nexa and Letney and a $50 bill for Hunter.
Luckily, they had the one round when they went B.
It was convincing,
4,
right?
so...
Imagine if Vitality got all those exits they wanted.
Yeah.
Whole other ball game.
So, 4-1 setup. Looks like a late lurk to mid, or just some presence maybe to... People are doing these light executes into B and then just like taking long control, which is a little new. Wow, that was a fantastic spray.
So swift, just cut right through the first two. Good trade by Otto, sure enough, but ZywOo wants a piece of this pie. Esperanto within the smoke tries to catch him by surprise, and most certainly will, but Alex is there to trade straight away. 3-1 of just Letney left over, and he doesn't have a bomb to work with, Launders.
Yeah, you wonder what his MO was in this situation. If he was meant to, I guess he took some damage, so he probably tried to fight a little bit too early, and after that, well, decided there was no way he could get out unnoticed, but now that his team are dead, and the bomb's at long, rotates could come out. And here's an opportunity to at least get one. And he will do that. But with 25 seconds up, CT's aware of this. They only need to stay alive, whereas... And Letney does too, because they're not going to have money next round. They're not going to have any money next round. 4 seconds up. I guess this is a safe place to save.
So Letney grabs the AK, the single AK that will be. If you had to make the decision personally of having this, you know, this raid boss, the one AK in a play, is there any particular setup that comes to your mind? Where would you throw the AK?
Where would I throw the AK to if he was a solo one?
Right, like he should
be totally spawn dependent. Like Dustu's spawns are so strong on T side, so. I would either take a long, I would take a long spawn depending on how good the long spawn was, or I would try to take it up fast cat, or like throw kind of a Hail Mary and go for a suicide run down mid into a fast cat.
I didn't expect them to buy here, I'll be honest. You know, I thought they'd try to get that money back up, but I guess with
this is where they're seeing their double save, which is probably not smart to look at it like that because they had money left over from last round plus this round loss bonus. So I don't know. Maybe they spent too much money last round.
I can't help but feel maybe they feel the pressure of this lopsided half.
Yeah, that can be it too.
Sometimes you just go for it.
A one rifle buy can be fine, especially if they feel like their money's not going to be in a great place.
Good collection of utility with it. You know, they flashed their way around certain corners. Clearly a Molotov here on Cat. Enough smoke grenades to just blanket their path to the B bomb site where they will attempt to pinch. Again, Apex and MBK. We've seen this be a solid hold. We've also seen it fumble. So which of these two outcomes heads our way? Esperanto tagged up by the window. That's going to throw things into a bit of a mix. Nexa, well, he reveals himself by making noise, and Apex wants nothing to do with that lopsided fight, but oh my, free haircuts being dished out by the B bomb site. MBK will solo hold after losing Apex, and Alex with an angle over smoke just completely denies anything further. They have no footing on this bomb site. Despite so much damage being done, it's still 4 survivors on Vitality.
ZywOo hit that shot through the smoke, just fully nuts, man.
ZywOo.
ZywOo. Pretty crazy. They were locked into the B site where it's a strong position, but as T's outside of it, you know, Nexa gets his 1 kill, but then they just have like support. There's so many ways to support from the mid B smoke, especially if you don't double smoke it up on the box. And Vitality abused both angles, as well as the players who are within the site are still relatively safe. And typically you want to keep, you know, a Molotov or a smoke so that if it is going to be a mid B setup, then you either smoke or Molotov the door, or smoke the door, Molotov the window, and hold tunnel. But if you have two people in the site, you could, for example, smoke the door, watch the window, watch the tunnel, get the kills, and be done with it.
Oh boy. Apex locking it down. Easy pickings versus these unarmored pistol players. But again, this is just this is a bit of a dismantlement. Starting to feel bad for him. You know, You had an incredible overtime showing. You had a victory.
That's true. They could have been 2-0.
Vitality streak. Like this could have been, you know, we could have been leaving the studio tonight with a very different narrative of what now this third map has given us. You know, I feel like when you get completely stomped, if this game does finish in a very lopsided score, then it does kind of discredit some of the accomplishments from Valiance here tonight. Sure. You know, they nearly won in the first map. Well, they stopped the win streak on Inferno, but if this is the last point, you know, some people will remember this more than the others.
For sure, but that's, I mean, if they don't do well in the tournament, then, you know, then you can contextualize this loss with that. But that's why this shouldn't be weighted too much, because there's still the whole event left over. Right? They qualify, that's the only thing that matters.
Yep. Oy. Backs turned. Easy pickings.
Oh my god.
Nexa nabs a double. So we are getting to the end of the first half. Maybe the foot comes off the gas pedal. Great damage through the door. Sometimes ZywOo just feels omnipresent. Like he's always in the mix. But here comes Esperanto. Swoops downward and Goomba stomps the 2 CTs in spawn. And the last man's found out immediately. So here's the most convincing round we've had from Valiance. And it comes in the 14th of the half.
It's kind of interesting how that happens. And that it can be like a lapse of concentration.
Right? Yeah, you get that close to a lopsided half, you just kind of...
It always happens, right? And it's not like they're... I mean, I don't know why they had such an opening at mid-B in this situation, but ZywOo was the first rotate as well, so Alex wasn't there like watching it, and maybe that's just because they called out that, and I guess that is something you can call out if a team goes for long control. They have 3 players there. Mid's going to be kind of open, depending on how the 2 players at B are playing it early on. So here's an interesting bout. Trades goes both ways. Oh no, trades don't go both ways. Auto just takes some damage. But Vitality are down to 1 inside of B, and Valiance are making their way out mid quickly. I'm liking the deliberate moves right here. MBK has a whole lot of work to do, and he can't even get the first kill, unfortunately. Probably would have been round lost regardless, considering the positions, but...
Could have at least been 1 step closer.
Yeah, would have been one hell of a clip.
So it seems as though the very final hurdles, Valiance clears another couple of rounds. You know, there's a huge difference between 14-1 and 12-3, but that's exactly where we will end this half. The CT side begins with 8 rounds in a row. The reset pushes back the amount of buys for Valiance, and at least they pick up those last 2 rounds. It's something of a match here on our hands, but of course the second half will be back after this break, folks, so don't you dare go too far. What had been an incredibly close series has now ended in what seems to be a lopsided affair, but I take that back because it's not ended yet. 3 rounds, and 2 of which come at the final 2 possible outcomes for Valiance Launders.
And it was Vitality versus Optic where they did the T side.
9 rounds.
We saw most of their T side. That they got 9 rounds. They did get 9 rounds.
They had a lot of good rotations on that T side. That's what I was most impressed with. You know, a lot of foot traffic moving through T spawn. So I'm excited to see what Vitality can do in the mid rounds. But that's just me.
Cat. Hunter's got the only kit on the rounds. Nexus here to spot the cross. And they have pushed kind of into long. Esperanto's got a lot of information. The 3B setup is probably going to cause them a bit of worry at this point. They are still threatened by the thought that it could be a mid-B or tunnels push. So they can't exactly rotate freely. And a lot of this will come down to Nexa.
Yeah, not really blinded by that flashbang. He just continues to fall off the angles, tapping at the heads, but unsuccessful in cutting down the numbers. This wouldn't be the first time in this series we've had a 5v5 retake in a pistol. And of course, last time Vitality cleared it with ease, but it's now 5v3. And NBK looks to claw it back. Zaiwu as well, adding a kill to the tally. There is support over the shoulder for NBK, but that's Apex now having to drop off and welcome Valiance up Cat, where the bomb was planted for. Instant damage, the gushes connect, and so do the follow-up frags. That's Vitality with what could be an easy sailing into victory lane.
Yeah, that was a tough spot where Valiance were really gambling on either a mid-B or a straight-up B hit. If it was going to be one of those two, certainly they stomped there, but in this situation, the rotates are extremely difficult, especially no presence at mid whatsoever. That would be the easiest thing if they could at least see if someone had gone up Cat or on Xbox. Then they could potentially push through tunnels or come back through mid and then rotate that way. But instead, they had to really take their time, be sure that they saw the bomb. Nexa would have to be the one delivering all the information and fragging at the same time. And so the setup kind of bites them in the butt, especially when it's a full Cat play. Sometimes those gambles are kind of important. It's tough. It's tough.
Oh, Hunter found the timing to get himself tucked away into the corner, but RPK with the crosshair placement ready for the peak. Of course, this was that double scout and trio of Deegs bought up by Valiance. Unfortunately for them, not too much initial damage dished out. Only Apex dropped to 67. Zaiwu with what seems like one hell of a slick slide sideways past the tunnel entry. Pops the man in the back of the bomb site. NBK locks down mid. It really does fall onto Letney, and he wants nothing to do with B. He's gone right into NBK, it seemed. But little lapse in crosshair placement opens up an opportunity that's then swiftly shut down.
3-1. Esperanto with 1. And a tight flick. Oh, I thought the bomb hadn't been planted yet. That could have been interesting. 20 HP. Perched up on the CT boxes. RPK waiting to pounce.
Ooh.
And pounce he does.
7 health the difference. All he needs. Le Tank.
Two rounds, and that'll be it. It's gonna, and the thing is, to get awkward buying decisions where Valiance would probably normally wait until they have full rifles, but here are not in a position to do that. They've got to try to fend off a match point at this point, so are going to buy what they can, and they forced up last round as well. And we're going to see forces all the way to the bitter end now, and we won't see a rifle round unless they win one of these.
Yeah, the bitter end it will be if they only come up with these 3 rounds. Esperanto dishes out the early damage.
You boost me, I boost you.
I'm surprised Otto still got up on that first jump.
That was pretty impressive.
I'll take it.
He's got Jordans.
Yeah, it wasn't slowed down at all. Man's got hops. Not bad for a Finn.
He's got hops like an IPA.
Scope down range. Nobody just yet. Apex rounds the corner. That's now 2 of these Ts sitting on 31 HP. And there are SMGs to wreak havoc once they get close. So Vitality probably just going to keep playing the old switcheroo, throwing those players in the front line. But man, these scout shots have dealt so much damage. Just Otto and Esperanto putting in all the elbow grease. RPK, however, looking to swing it back up close. There is Hunter, and he's fully blind. Pop flash goes wide, and I mean, Vitality just feeding themselves to the scout damage.
It was hard to move up. They were going up against the Great Wall with archers on it.
Yeah.
You know? That's tough.
Just getting peppered.
Legolas, just up there, taking shots, unlimited arrows in the quiver.
That only counts as one.
And so, how are they supposed to progress? Remember, long is unfinished. That's why it's just
that's why it's just this corridor.
It's just the sniper alley.
Yep.
That's all it is. But like everyone knows, you go long on anti-ecos, so you could say it was a smart move.
Right.
But the thing is, it was a force buy.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of an eco, right?
And it was 2 scouts. Very annoying to have to try to kill scouts.
They're so fast.
They just fly around.
So swift. It's like dueling SMGs, but at a distance.
Yeah.
You know, and they pack a harder punch.
And on that note, bring back the jumping scout. I mean, you can still do it, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the glory days. Bring back the laser AUG while we're at it.
AUG week.
Yeah. Best time of my life. Sadly. Big push from Hunter. This is aggressive. RPK, just that P250. I mean, he's the easiest pickup. Of all the players that could have been attacked by that MP9, he's probably stood the less of a chance.
If they're going to do that, I want to see more of this half. I want to see more upper pushes. That's what gets the people going.
Oh, Zaiwu, 2 honed in on mid.
Very decent trade from Apex. Could have very easily gone down, and no fault of his own. They've got options, but with the herd thinned, you can see that there is the thought to maybe push through long. Since they have that information, Apex, woof.
I feel like he had good chances here in mid, but, you know, fires off a couple shots, reveals himself, and now they should be more aware of it. He's still being given space to work with, however. That's the thing.
Here it is. They're going to anticipate this, aren't they? Oh, they're looking. But he's only got a P2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
This
yeah.
opens up. Oh.
Suddenly, health advantage is just severely in the favor of Vitality. Flashes up and over. Auto is pushed into an awkward spot. Crouching on site with the scout.
This is a whole new can of worms.
Totally blind.
Shutting down that flank out long doors, I mean, that's huge. Like you said, the health advantage is massive.
I mean, he got destroyed. That was like double dink P250.
Versus an MP7. You know, Nexa tucks himself in the corner, think he's coming all the way around.
He took his time, too.
MBK just stutter steps the corner, jukes him out.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I cleared it. Oh, you're there? Oh, bye. You're dead. Ding dong. Good night.
And just like that, we've got Valiance saving an AK and an MP9, as Vitality will now have 11 map and match points. They would be moving forward, securing their place in the playoffs, where 2 more teams will join them after a grueling week of Counter-Strike, Launders.
Yeah. Yeah, you've definitely got to earn your keep from this point on. But I think it's for the best.
I mean, think about it. If you come into this winner's BO3 and you are the one team that moves through this winner's bracket, you've got 4 days off. Like, you have a 1-day minor.
That's hype.
That's really nice.
That's a lot of pierogies.
Right. Imagine what ENCE will be able to do with this time. You know, they're going to be smoothing things out as they get into the playoffs. Sure, you know, the goal is not accomplished. You're not at the major. You haven't qualified for that. But you have 4 days of observing your opponents play through many games, getting a good sample as to where they're at this moment. Very relevant footage, and then you play them when it means the most. So this is going to be a big win for Vitality if they can pick up just 1 more round, and it seems as though they've got it now. An entry into the B site, a desperate rotate from Hunter, just looking to hold the cross on door, and he's smoked off, Molotoved off, potentially spammed too. Bomb inbound, hopes are high for the Frenchman. Not being given anything here. The footing completely ripped away. Continuous utility usage into the bomb plant. Now the damage can be dished back. Apex dropped to 22. He's just going to hide and allow his teammates to do all the heavy lifting. Nexa, Esperanto, he's the last one on the menu. Sure enough, revealing himself from the windowsill and trying as he might, but it's just not there. A very close series that could have been 2-0 for Valiance manages to go to a sweep in the favor of Vitality. What a clinic performance they've given us here on Dust 2.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting matches today, but the teams that were able to get through the winners matches have just can breathe a sigh of relief. This is such a big victory for them, and they've got to feel good. They hit the ground running really with their team, winning DreamHack Atlanta, going on to do all their qualifiers, and now are at the minors. And you can see with MBK, especially with his Twitter, he's been pushing the team a lot, tweeting out every match, trying to build the brand as best possible. And you can see why he's been representing so hard, because he really believes in the lineup, and they seem to be delivering as well.
It's gelling nicely considering the time they've had together, but that's all the time we're going to have together. Launders and I will throw this over to the desk one last time today to unpack the final action.
Which is exactly what we are going to do. Scrawny and Launders, thank you very much. Couldn't say it any better than this. That was a vital win for Vitality, as we do see them secure this best of 3 and move forward here at the European Minor. It's been a long day of play, and they wrapped that last map up in style.
Well, it feels like Valiance, for those who don't know the definition, is great courage or determination. It feels like they ran out of that on the last map, right? So the fact of the matter was they were very competitive throughout this. They pushed it further than I thought it was going to go. And then coming into this last one where it should really play into
volatile map as well,
yeah,
right?
One where individuals should step up. It feels like they just ran out of gas in that regard, right?
Yeah.
They're being dictated to. And we did see Vitality earlier in the day have a really strong CT side. And here they just had the same thing. They were just mowing them down. And the only time it felt like they were threatened was when they got a little bit lazy late. And obviously there was that contact round to the B-bomb site, which was the first round that the guys from Valiance were able to get on the board. Otherwise, that's a super strong map for these boys at the moment.
Yeah, fitting way to end the game as well, where Vitality just hit that B-bomb site, finding that a little opening, the little gap. Seems to be a bit of a trademark already for them, and yeah, they finished it off. But yeah, in the big picture, I think you put it pretty well in a nutshell. I mean, it just felt to me like Valiance just ran out of breath, basically, and they got dictated far too many times in the sense that Vitality players were the ones that would just go, take a fight where maybe Valiance was thinking that they had the chance and opportunity to kind of regroup and wait for them to, set up for their smokes and stuff, and then you'd see, Saivu, for example, making a play, getting one kill, playing around a smoke, get another one. Those type of plays are really super frustrating as well. It's not a T side to try and